Friday evening welcome from the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Larry Proetti, Chris Bolton, Nick Proetti, who is taking care of the official 1480 KRAE YouTube streaming process for us today. We want to welcome everybody on board, those in Natrona County as well as our listenership here in Laramie County. It is a big contest, really, for both teams in a Week 1 schedule between Cheyenne East and Casper Kelly Walsh. And tonight's game is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne, sponsor of Pepsi Scoreboard, Medicap Pharmacy, Key of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, B&B Appliance and TV, Cap Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, MHP, formerly McGee, Hearn, and Pies LLP. I bring on my partner, Chris Bolton. As I mentioned, this is probably one of the premier matchups of the week. Both teams 1-0. KW 27-14 winners last week at home at Harry Gilding Stadium over a very good Laramie Plainsman team. East, not really challenged, but a 59-0 win nonetheless.
Well, and we talked to Coach Goff a little bit earlier. He said it's just great to get his young guys out there just to get experience, and they got plenty of that with the big win on the road. But, for East coming in, they've won 9 straight against Casper Kelly Walsh. This 10th one could be the toughest one of the stretches. Casper Kelly Walsh looks like a team that's not just very athletic, but very big as well. Yeah,
and one thing that you're going to see a dose of here tonight is going to be Brock Spiegelberg, who rushed for over 275 yards last week against the Laramie Plainsmen. Another thing too about John Vance's squad, this is probably one of his best teams in his years at Casper Kelly Walsh. They've been knocking on the door, trying to get into that, muscle into that top 4 spot. I think he may have the ball club this year. Well,
and they do it in the trenches. They have 2 tackles that are play on both sides, Connor Shop and Cameron Mellon. 6'6", 250 for Shop, 6'5", 310 for Mellon. That's a lot of weight, a lot of beef on the outside, and probably a good reason why Spiegelberg is able to rush for as many yards, especially last week against a very good Laramie team.
And one thing too that Coach Goff was talking to us, and and I've known Chad for many years, and I've seen Coach Vance's teams for many years. They have a tendency to put the ball on the turf. Coach Goff is going, gosh, I hope they continue that tendency tonight too, because they definitely want to make sure that Spiegelberg doesn't run amok against them.
Right, and it was a point of emphasis for this team in the offseason in their kind of training camp was turnovers, getting the ball. They went to the University of Washington, and really they got a good mindset as far as drills they can do. And obviously last week they caused a lot of turnovers. Last week they were popping the ball loose. They were picking off passes, and they're going to need to do the same here, because any time the ball's on the turf, you need to pounce on it, because you want to win the turnover battle tonight, and that could very well be the difference tonight.
6 turnovers against the Campbell County Camels, and matter of fact, if you look at the numbers, they only gave up 23 yards in the air, minus 23 on the ground, so that is a net of 0. Put a goose egg up on the board, so the Chinese defense started out on the right note. Our game tonight also being brought to you by Terrell Honda, Baskin Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, the Gill Window Company, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Mars Plumbing Heating, First Tier Bank, and Big Apple Bagels. After this timeout, we'll come back. We had a chance to talk to the athletic director here at Cheyenne East, he being Jerry Schlabs. We're back after the 60-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. Right now, we're talking with East High Athletic Director Jerry Schlabs. Jerry, as we get off and running on our program here, as we do each football game, we talk with the ADs. I guess I'm going to come right out of the box and talk about budgets. In your time at Cheyenne East, are you seeing increases in athletic budgets, or are they continuously being slashed?
I'll tell you what, we've been unbelievably fortunate, and we've said this probably quite often in interviews in the past as well. The Laramie County School District number 1 is we've been very lucky, and actually in the state of Wyoming we've been very lucky with the education piece of it and the budget piece of it, and we have a great support system with the central administration, and then at East High School with our principal, Mr. Marich, he does a great job of supporting all of our activities in athletics as much as possible, and so in years past we've been really lucky, and we've had to fundraise some, obviously, as everyone does, just to maybe get that extra piece of equipment or the matching team sweats or travel uniforms or those types of things. But at the same time, we've been very taken care of. And obviously, in the last couple of years especially, budgets have become a big deal, and we have been asked to tighten up district-wide, obviously. And even in saying that, the district has done a good job of not having to cut positions. 2 years ago, there was a lot of talk of having to possibly cut some positions out, at not only in the teaching ranks but the coaching ranks as well, and maybe make some adjustments there. And while that may happen in the future, they've done just an unbelievable job of making sure that everybody's able to keep their positions and their jobs, and at the same time making sure we provide everything that the kids need. And we just asked our coaches, and they've asked our department to just kind of tighten up on some of the things that maybe we've been able to do in the past, and obviously to help where we need to within the district, and we've done that as well. So it is tightening up a little bit, and may continue to do so in the coming years. But at the same time, the district and our school does a great job of providing what the kids need.
Football obviously is going to be your big ticket program, which is going to be followed by basketball as far as attendance is concerned. And again, depending on winning programs, usually if you're winning, a lot of people are going to come on out, more parents, more students, and of course you always try to attract the away schools to bring down a contingent of fans to watch games as well. Of the ticket prices that you charge for basketball, football, how much of that is going into the coffers of Cheyenne East?
Most of that goes into a general budget. We kind of have a general fund budget with our district, and we have activity funds, which is fundraising by the kids in the programs. And so the ticket sales and things like that do, for the most part, go back into our general budget, which is going to end up being spent on the kids. It's going to end up being spent on our programs, our classrooms, those types of things. Where our activity budgets, the fundraising money those kids make, obviously 100% of that goes back to the kids because they're the one fundraising for that, and it goes back to the kids within the programs. And so the ticket prices that we charge, and those come back to help pay for, possibly officials. For example, when we have a huge tournament like our big Taco John's tournament or our Charlie Lake Wrestling tournament, we do use those funds to help pay for the officials and things like that. People don't realize for our basketball tournament, the officials' cost could be anywhere from $15,000 to $18,000 for 3 days, just because of the amount of games we have. But at the same time, you save that much money without having to take our sophomore, JV, and varsity teams on the road. It gives those families an opportunity to see their kids at home. And so there's pluses and minuses to all that. But once again, the district allows us some leeway to do a good job with those funds. And so when the general public does for admission to an event, they can rest easy that money is coming back directly to the school and to the kids that they're coming to watch.
I look at all of the programs that you have, and football obviously has a lot of youngsters that you take care of. I can't imagine what you must go through trying to put pen to paper and going X amount of dollars to this program, X amount of dollars to that program. I mean, how do you get this all figured out? I mean, I guess you're given an X amount of dollar figure to start with. How do you divvy it amongst all these programs? And again, like cross country is not going to draw big dollars to the coffers, or track and field. But again, I mean, how do you distribute these monies?
No, that's a good question. And we have at East High School, and I think most of the schools, our principal has a budget that they get from the district, and then our principal, Mr. Marich, we sit down with our bookkeeper, and he gives me a budget. So he gives me a budget for the entire athletic department, and then I just kind of split that up, as you say, but to each program, and you kind of have to look at travel. You have to look at numbers, how many kids will they take on the road. You have to look at, like you said, a cross country may just need uniforms. They don't necessarily have a lot of equipment they have to buy. So their equipment budget obviously could be a lot smaller than a football budget. Football, just getting their helmets reconditioned each year is $6,000 to $7,000, and that's a requirement, obviously, a safety requirement. And so, we have to look at that for their budget. Just basketballs for the girls and boys program, they could easily spend $1,000 a year just to get basketballs updated and new basketballs. And so we just kind of look at all those things. We look at, we have a uniform rotation, so the coaches kind of know, hey, I'm going to get new uniforms every 3 to 4 years. If there's obviously an emergency, then we have great support from our principal, Mr. Marich. But you kind of look at each program. You look at the travel. You look, are they away for a regional? Or are they home for a regional? You look at how many kids they're going to take, like I said, and then obviously we really try to work with the hotels in Wyoming, and most communities do a great job of giving good school rates, and so there's a lot of it involved, and from the top down, it kind of takes a team effort for everybody to kind of get on the same page and make sure that we're doing the best we can.
And final thought here as we get ready for our football game with Casper, Kelly Walsh, and I noticed our itinerary for the ball game. Are you in charge of setting up all the halftimes? And if you are in charge of setting up all these halftimes, how do you come up with all these great ideas?
Yeah, I am, and it's we've taken a lot of pride, and we're really proud of what we've done in the East Triad, and we've really tried to kind of lead the way, I guess, as far as getting the triad involved at the elementary school, the junior high, and the high school, and just having great school spirit. And and we do come up, people within our school and our community come up with ideas. A lot of things, you're just driving down the road, or you watch a college game, or you watch a pro game, and you see something, and you're like, okay, we may not be able to do it to that extent, but we can do some fun things with our high school kids. And we try to make it, as you see in all the games and all the action that you see, it's the game experience is a big deal now. And like you said, we want people to come and pack our stadium and support our programs, and providing that for the community. And this week we're doing a big faculty, or tonight I should say, we're doing a big faculty recognition, faculty and staff recognition, because we want to get our faculty and staff out here so our kids can see them in a little bit different light. It is fun to have all those different events, and it's fun for us to put them on, and hopefully it's a great time for our parents and the Cheyenne community to be a part of that as well.
Cheyenne East Athletic Director Jerry Schlabs.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Couple comments concerning our recent ball game. We're really pleased with the start. It was going to be important for us to come off the field with a good victory. We're pleased with the win. I think New Mexico State's a good football program. Want to wish Coach Martin the best, and we're convinced they're going to win a lot of football games this year. Couple injury reports. I would say Austin Ford is doubtful for the Washington State game. We are pleased to say that Alonzo Velasquez, I would say, is probably probable or even better than that. So some notes about the ball game. First of all, really pleased we established a running game, established a line of scrimmage. That was going to be important for us. I thought our running backs ran hard. We were assignment bound, and we came off the ball, and that's always going to, be hopefully a trademark for us as we move forward. Tyler Vanderwall, he started out the game really well. I think he was 7 for 7, and he maybe had a little dip during the course of the game, but really pleased for a freshman quarterback. in starting game, particularly on the road with a team that had won their bowl game. It was a big ball game, and thought Tyler really showed up well. So we're really pleased with that. I thought our defense was very disruptive. They established field position. We tackled well. We ran to the ball well and played with a great deal of energy, so we're pleased with that. And we won the kicking game, so if you total those things up, I think it was a pretty convincing win. While some people on the outside may like a lot more scores, I was pleased for the most part with our first team defense. We were holding a shutout and creating field position. The time of possession was in our favor, and so we're pleased with that. We'd like to have that formula in the future, but we've got much work to do. I've always believed this: a football team typically improves their most. Improvement comes between their first and their second game, and so this is an opportunity for us to improve, and we have a lot of work to do. So our players are back. We started out with some lifting today, and we'll have a light practice and get ready for an excellent game against Washington State. Washington State, first of all, I have a great deal of respect for Coach Leach. I've coached against him on a couple occasions through the years. He enjoys a great national reputation, and I think their football team has transitioned from a team into a really good program. You can see the vision that Coach Leach has in their recruiting philosophy, the direction that they're going. They've been a perennial bowl game team, and so you're not just dealing with a team, you're dealing with a program. I know their defensive coordinator, Tracy Clays, very well. I can promise you this, their defensive players will know what they're doing. They will be assignment bound, and they will play really hard. Also know Coach Spurrier. I had a chance when I was a young coach at Duke. He was on our team for a while. And, I know that when he was at Oklahoma, he and Coach Leach worked extensively together. So you've got an experienced coaching staff with a whole collection of other guys. Well, what the makings are is a great college football game. There's a lot to play for. It's early in the year. I know our players are excited. Our coaches are excited. And so at this time, I'll open up any questions anybody might have.
With Austin being doubtful, is that a good sign that it's maybe not season ending, or do you know much more about it, or is it kind of a positive that it's just doubtful at this point?
I would say that's a correct assessment. Initially, it would come down to a knee strain. There's probably a more technical term than that, but they're going to go through do an MRI and all those things, but the initial assessment is doubtful. He's moving around, but a little gingerly, and so I just, unless he goes sees the wizard, I don't think he's going to be playing this week. But to say that he's going to be lost for the year, I would be surprised by that.
Coach, with Cash out this game, just what does Adam bring to that position? Obviously, I know he's a veteran on this team who's Adam Phillip stepping in for Cash.
Okay, yeah. Adam is a really bright player. He's played safety here in the past. He's put on some lean muscle mass. He's got a great understanding of linebacker. And so he played quite a bit last week. And, we really feel comfortable with him coming in and playing this week.
After you looked at film with your offensive line with 3 redshirt freshmen, did they grade well? Were you pleased with what you got from your offensive line?
Yeah, we were, Robert. I mean, the results, I know our running backs ran hard, but a lot of times I thought the line of scrimmage was moved, and we were fairly assignment bound. There's still some things we have to clean up, maybe from the naked eye. Maybe some of the fans couldn't see, but we certainly did. But overall, I mean, that was a point of emphasis that started last spring. We were way off as far as our ability to run. I think New Mexico State has some good defensive front players. And so, credit our strength staff. I thought they did a great job preparing those guys. And while we had some new players in there, they certainly didn't play like they were new. And so we're pleased with that. It's a really good start for us. But now this next crew we're going to face is going to be a little bit different. And, every week gets a little bit bigger, and this will be a bigger ball game and I think a better opponent.
We continue our pregame show with our opposing coach segment, and today it's head coach John Vance of Casper Kelly Walsh. Coach, real quick, again, you've been a part of the 4A ranks now for a few years. So, again, as you look back on activity from last week, did anything surprise you much in the way of scores?
Not too much. It seemed pretty consistent for what you were, for what a person was maybe expecting going into the season, even though you have a lot of unknowns when a new season gets started.
As you look back on last week's win against the Laramie Plainsmen, and again, first game out of the box, and you got some holes to fill from graduation last year, but as I saw you guys play, you had a lot of underclassmen involved in your offense and defensive schemes last year. So how did the team look for its first game out against the Plainsmen?
At times, we actually played pretty penalty-free, and has been with a focus, going into that. And, offensively, I thought we did a good job of establishing the run game and being able to get some things off of that. We didn't finish overly well in the red zone, but we were able to, kind of control the line of scrimmage for the most part, which was positive for us. Defensively, we had some things, we need to work on that way. But the kids did a nice job of coming up and getting turnovers when we needed them. So that was promising. As
you look back on your ball club from last season again, and I mentioned this with Coach Goff too in my pregame show with him, you always have holes to fill because of graduation. But one of the advantages you had last year, you had a younger squad. Matter of fact, I'll pick on running back Brock Spiegelberg, who's back with you. So is this the team, Coach, that you've been waiting for in your tenure with the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans? Is this the team that can possibly take you to the top?
Well, this I definitely I think this is the first or the most, I guess I want to say, the most returners that I've had that have had experience for the most part. For the last 5 or 6 years that way. So that part's promising for the fact that those kids, they understand what's expected, and they understand the scheme much more than your first year varsity guys. And so that part is exciting, and you just got to keep building on it.
As you take on Cheyenne East, and I would say this is a good acid test for the second week of the season for your ball club to find out, are they ready to get into that 1, 2, 3, 4 spot of the Class 4 ranks? You've been kind of hovering there right around the middle for, most of the time that you've been there at Casper Kelly Walsh. Is this a real good test for your club to get a good feel of where they're at, even though it's early in the season?
I think so. I mean, this is a great matchup this way, and it is, Cheyenne East is always a semifinal type contender football team, and they're always a quality team. So it's definitely a great opponent for us to kind of see where we're at, see where we feel we are, and then good thing it's early in the season too, so you have a lot of growth ahead of you. But it's always good to be challenged and get pushed. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
You see each other every year, and then maybe you get that second opportunity during the playoffs to play each other. But again, Cheyenne East, they've been pretty much by the book during Chad Goff's time coaching the Thunderbirds. And again, watching your team play over the years, not so much that you're predictable, but again, the playbooks don't really change much. Does that help you in preparation for taking on East offensively, defensively?
Yeah, I think, it gives you a little familiarity, and then of course each team's going to run a little different version of something that they had the year before, just trying to adapt to your players. But we've kind of changed a few times as I've been here, and now we're going into about year 3 or 4 of where we've kind of been hanging our hat on what we've been doing a little bit more. And I think the consistency has been better for the kids, and been much easier to coach the kids up and to add things just because of the repetition. And Chad's really similar to what they do. They run a lot of counter, and whether it's quarterback or running back, but that's been kind of his mainstay that he's stuck with. And so they do a good job with it. So he's got to be able to defend, what that other team's really good at.
Casper Kelly Walsh head coach John Vance join us on our pregame show. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back after these words on 1480 KRAE. Larry Perotti with Cheyenne's head football coach Chad Goff. Coach, real quick before we discuss last week's game and look ahead towards tonight's game against the Casper Walsh Trojans, you graduated a lot of good football players last year. I can think of Simler and Ashworth and, of course, Bartlett, and, the list goes on and on. So is there much to do being made about, well, you only have 4 returning starters? I mean, you've had a chance to see a lot of the sophomores play last year and those that are going to be coming a part of your system this season. I mean, is there much to do about nothing really with only 4 returners?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we see those kids go through the system. A lot of those kids this year have played 9 games of JV as well as worked in some varsity reps last year, and so they're very familiar with what's going on, and they had good off season and worked hard, and so yeah, I mean, it's like I say, you lose a lot of kids, but that's high school football. You graduate every year. It's about how you prepare the next group in the previous years.
Let's talk about last week's game against the Camels at Campbell County in Gillette. You got a lot of repetitions in for a lot of football players. Again, games like that get out of hand, and I know, the class thing to do is, take your foot off the pedal, but did you get a chance to see enough of what you are looking for this season from your first liners?
Not necessarily. Like you said, you start getting up so fast. There's certain things that you want to do that you're not going to attempt right now because that'd be classless, And so you just you chalk it up to a win, and you talk to the kids and tell them it's going to be a little bit different next week, and there's still a lot of different things we have to figure out.
What were some of the things that you did like about both offensively and defensively? Obviously, tossing a shutout is a good thing on the defensive side, but just a couple of highlights from the offense and defense.
Defensively, I liked our flying around to the football and creating 7 turnovers. That was big for us, and to have 3 defensive touchdowns is pretty unheard of. That was nice. Offensively, little jittery at first, little antsy in the pocket. Linemen weren't staying locked up as long as they need to, and so as the game went on, I thought that got a whole lot better.
Now look ahead to your opponent, John Vance's Casper Walsh Trojans, and to the credit of Coach Vance, he's really done a great job with this program, and it seems like each and every year they're getting closer and closer to being one of those top teams in Class 4A, if they're not already in that top upper echelon. But again, he has the Spiegelberg kid back at running back. This is a team that just pounds it at you all game long.
Yeah, Spiegelberg is good. I mean, he carried the ball quite a few times last week against Laramie. Did a really good job. Saw him this summer at camp. He looked really good there. They're big up front, really big up front. And so you're right, they have a nice ball club.
So, again, with your, I guess I'm going to use the word inexperience, going up against their team, and again, a lot of this team is senior-laden from last season when they were a mixture of junior seniors. Again, this is one of those games where you kind of sit there and go, gosh, I hope we don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're facing a whole lot better team. We haven't seen this level of competition yet. Obviously, it didn't get simulated last week's game. And we try to simulate it in practice and then put them in situations to try to create that. But until you actually line up across from someone at this level, it's hard to simulate. And so, yeah, it's got to be a whole lot less mistakes offensively, and the defense has got to continue to do what they did last week.
Final thought, and again, I know we kind of look at the first week of the season, as they call it, week 0. The scores across the Class 4A ranks, were you shocked by anything last week, or did everything go pretty much according to Hoyle?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Thunder Basin surprised me a little bit. I thought they played really well and did some good things. Rock Springs, they played pretty good in that game as well. And so, yeah, it's good to see that it's going to be a competitive class again, and it should be fun.
As Cheyenne's head coach Chad Goff join us on our pregame show. We'll chat with Chad after our postgame during our postgame show right here on 1480 KRAE. We're back after these words. for Casper, Kelly Walsh, and the offensive starters for Cheyenne. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. About ready to tee it up here at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. The 1-0 Cheyenne Thunderbirds, 59-0 winners at Gillette last weekend against Campbell County. Casper, Kelly Walsh at Harry Gildine Stadium, 27-14 winners over the Laramie Plainsmen. We welcome our fans that made the trek down from Natrona County. Those of you that are YouTubing with us, 1480 KRAE on the YouTube side, we welcome you on board as well. Hopefully we're going to have what I feel, Chris, is going to be just a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. This is going to be, in my opinion, who has the football last tonight.
Could be. It could be a good old-fashioned headbanger, too, as both teams love to run the football. Both teams love to, mix it up in the trenches. It could be something we see a lot here tonight.
Let's get to the starting lineups again. As I mentioned before the break, that Casper, Kelly Walsh won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so defensively, Chris, they're going to come out this way.
They're going to come out in a 4-4 stack. Their D tackles will be Connor Schopp and Chad Bila. On the ends, Bastian Hansen and Seth White. The linebackers, Luke Nathan on the outside, as well as Brock Spiegelberg, which we'll hear a lot of that name tonight. Inside linebackers, Davian McAdam and Spencer Wilson, and then in the secondary, the two corners, Tyler Whitley and Sage Coventry, and the free safety is Javon Davis for Coach Vance and his defense.
And for the Cheyenne Thunderbirds, offensively, they'll line up this way with the Hosses up front, 6', 195 senior Marshall Brown. At the left guard position will be Big Jacob Fernandez. He's 6'4", 297 and a senior. In the middle, that is, it will be 5'8", 219-pound senior, and that is Zach Zastapool. The right guard is Zach Higgins, 6', 232 and a junior. The right tackle is Brandon Deasing. He's 5'11", 205 and a senior. In the backfield, it will be your quarterback for tonight, Graydon Buell. He's a 6'1", 191 sophomore. He'll be joined in the backfield by 6'2", 161-pound junior Chance Ahmiller. Also in the backfield, it will be 6', 175-pound senior Zach Valerio. Your receivers will be Cole Michaeli. He's 6'2", 172 and a junior. Dakota Merritt on the outside, 6', 147 and a senior. And also Riley Cooper, 5'10", 180 and a senior. Now again, Cooper may switch off with Valerio in the backfield. They do at times out of a pistol run on an offset eye. So again, there's a lot of variations that we're going to see. With Casper, Kelly Walsh, like you mentioned, Spiegelberg, he is the feature featured running back, and he will get the majority of the calls tonight, especially from Coach John Vance and quarterback Matt Hayes.
Yeah, 33 touches, or 33 carries for 275 and a touchdown last week against Laramie. And as you said with Riley Cooper, for Coach Goff, we were talking about it, he's got some good athletes. He can really has the privilege, or at least has the opportunity to go with the hot hand. Last weekend it just happened to be Riley Cooper, 7 carries, 72 yards, added a couple of touchdowns as well. So you'll see more options from the on east side, but on defense, it's going to be about stopping Brock Spiegelberg. You want to make Matt Hayes, the quarterback, beat you tonight.
It's been threatening all evening to rain, and we're starting to get some sprinkles now that are coming out of the sky. Matter of fact, it's blowing more of an east-west direction. The flags have picked up. Earlier they were limp, so now they are basically pretty stiff, as the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds should get good field position, as the Kelly Walsh Trojans will be kicking into the wind to start the game. So they did not pick the right field position to take over defensively.
For East, they're in their home blacks with the blue numbers. Kelly Walsh in their road whites with the green numbers. East will start right to left, going right to left on your radio dial and on your computer screen, as now it's starting to spit here in the booth a little bit as well. We have a holder that is Caleb Cockrum for Casper. Kelly Walsh to hold it. The kick will come out to the 20. On the kick, he'll run to the left side. He's got a lot of room.
That's Schroeder, Ox Schroeder. He'll make the grab off the foot of the kickoff from Javian Davis, as Schroeder will bring it up to the 28-yard line. So pretty decent field position for the East Thunderbirds as they'll operate again. As we called in, we were sitting up here talking about it. It's the shotgun, it's the pistol these days. No one really, very rarely lines up over center anymore, and if they do, then you know what they're going to do.
Right, exactly. Nice job there by Kevin Anderson for Casper. Kelly Walsh to stop Oxschroeder, who was trying to go from the right end zone to the left sideline. Had some room, but Anderson cut him off.
Braden Buell with Riley Cooper in the backfield, and back to pass, rolling to his right is Buell. He'll step, he'll throw. He's got a man to the 42-yard line, check that 39-yard line, and pushed out of bounds. That's Dakota Merritt on the far side. So for Cheyenne East, the first down right out of the box as they'll push it up to the 39 of the T-Birds.
Nice 12-yard play for Buell, the sophomore quarterback. Really simple completion on the play action.
Chance Miller will split to the near side. Again, Cooper in the backfield with Buell. Again, they'll operate out of the pistol. First down and 10. Buell, the sophomore quarterback, won the position. Hands it off to Cooper. Cooper goes straight ahead and fights hard for a couple of yards over the 40-yard line to the 41. So it'll be a pickup of 2. And second down and 8 for the T-Birds.
Good job by Cooper to make the first guy miss. He had some contact in the backfield, but it's going to be important that you don't get hit and stay behind the line of scrimmage. He's able to fall forward for a couple for a positive.
Dakota Merritt shuffling in the play for our Chad Goff, as Cole Michaeli will now come to the near side. Also, he'll be joined. He's flanked by Merritt. Out on top is Miller. Second down, 8 call. We're just underway in the Pepsi scoreboard, 11:05 to go. In motion comes Miller. From right to left, back to pass, rolling to his left side is Buell. He'll take it, he'll run. 45, and he'll be just shy of the first down as he ducked his head at the 48-yard line. So third down is short for the T-Birds.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication on the trip side. Miller and it looked like Schroeder kind of collided when they were getting into the routes. Messed up the timing. Good job there by Buell just to eat it and get some positive yardage.
So for the T-Birds, again, third down, about a yard, as it's rested at their own 48-yard line. Again, operated out of the pistol will be Buell. To his right is Cooper. Cheyenne East going right to left across your radio dial. Of course, on your YouTube channel as well. In motion, no, Buell will call his own number straight ahead to the 35 and down to near the 30-yard line. Let's see officially where they tackle. Nice job on the belly that time as he faked the handoff to look like Lukow, and again he put it deep into the belly. Lukow pulled it out and went straight ahead. 31-yard line, first down and 10 for the T-Birds in KW territory.
Yeah, great job there on the read by Buell, and it had everybody going with Lukow out to the outside. Luckily for Casper Kelly Walsh, the safety, able to, it would look like Coventry was able to come up with the tackle.
Michael I and Merritt are split out on top. First down and 10, hand off to Cooper. Cooper feels his way through, down to the 25 and to the 24-yard line. It will be a pickup that time of about 7 yards for Cheyenne East. Second down and 3 as the T-Birds driving on the initial drive, as Robert Lukow will bring in the play. Lukow checks in at 5'7", 145, and a senior, 935 on the Pepsi scoreboard. Lukow will split out on top along with Michael I. Millard to the near side, and Buell out of the pistol. Fakes the handoff, under a rush, gets away from one would-be tackler, steps up, throws, got a man wide open. That is Lukow. Lukow down to the 1 yard line, maybe the 2. We'll see officially where he will be brought down. It's the 2 yard line, so it's first and goal for the East T-Birds on their initial drive, which started on their 28 yard line.
Well, nice job by Buell to evade McAdam on the rush, and then he found some space, and instead of running it, saw Lukow wide open right in the middle of the field.
But he also forced the linebackers to come up, and that way that left Lukow wide open. So first down and goal from the 2 for the T-Birds. In the backfield for Cheyenne East will be Zach Alexander. He'll be the up back, and Buell.
Looks like we have a ball spot problem, or the.
What do we call offside?
Maybe yeah, line up in the neutral zone.
Encroachment, so that will move it a yard closer. And now that will change the play calling by Cheyenne East as Tanner Muchmore now checks in. Muchmore, he is a senior, 6'1". So he will shuffle in the play.
Like what Coach Goff does here, bringing in his star linebacker in Alexander, just a bruiser.
Double tight end set. Over center is Buell, handed off to Cooper. Cooper spins away for one tackle, he's in. Touchdown! That's simple for Cheyenne East on their initial drive. They go 78 yards, 8:56 our time. They did it in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Dakota Merritt will be on to attempt the PAT.
Spiegelberg was there to make the tackle in the backfield. Cooper did a great job just running right through the arm tackle and finishing the job and getting into the end zone. That's now 3 touchdowns for him on the season.
Buell will be the holder. Snap is back. Placement is down. Kick is up. Long enough, and a little wind aided as well. It's good. Cheyenne East 7. Casper Kelly Walsh nothing here at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. By the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds as they methodically carved up Casper Kelly Walsh on the initial drive.
And great job by Graydon Buell in that first drive. He really headlined, 31 yards rushing, and then he passed for 34 more yards through the air and did a lot with his feet in that first drive for Coach Chad Goff.
Davian McAdam will drop back deep. He's joined by Tyler Whitley. Whitley, a 5'11", 165-pound senior, and McAdam is 6'1", 140. Checked at 195 and a senior. Merritt has it teed up at the 40-yard line again. Wind at his back right now. And he'll keep it down low. It takes a turf hop and in and out of the hands of McAdam. Oh my.
Yeah, those gloves, they're pretty sticky. I swear they put more and more stickum on them, but that time McAdam tried to run before he caught the ball.
So the ball will slip out at the 4-yard line, so not where John Vance wanted to operate with his offense here in the initial get-go. Again, they won the toss. They deferred to the second half. East drilled it down their throat in the first drive. So deep in their own territory, it's first down and 10, ball spotted on the 4-yard line. Pepsi scoreboard at the 8:54 mark. And here comes the Casper Kelly Walsh offense, directed by Matt Hayes. He's a 6'3", 190-pound senior. Brock Spiegelberg, 6 foot 210 senior. He'll be in the backfield. He is the lone back. And he's also joined back there by the H-back Spencer Wilson. First down and 10, offset eye. Underneath center is Hayes. Hands it off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg bowls straight ahead, and a big chunk of yards. Gets him out of harm's way up to the 9-yard line, so a 5-yard pickup, second down and 5.
Yeah, you just see him. East didn't really tackle him. He ran into the back of his center, Nussbaum there, and that obviously stopped him where he was at, but a good first gain, and this is what we're going to see a lot of. You're going to see a lot of 4- or 5-yard pops from Spiegelberg, and as you said, a lot of belly, a lot of dive for the big back.
Cameron Mellon on the left side. He's joined by Chad Billa on the left guard side. Movement, and it will be whistled against the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. It looked like it was McAdam.
It was, so a couple of quick errors by McAdam, and he'll actually now come out. He looked at the quarterback and didn't realize that the count was on 2, so everybody knew that except for McAdam, and they're going to call encroachment first.
Whoa.
Cheyenne East, so they're going to say that McAdam was drawn offsides, and now it's going to be second and short.
Yeah, well, a half yard, as Bastian Hansen has checked in for McAdam. Now they are trying to signal across the way that it's a first down.
Well, maybe they may have to measure it at this point.
So a stoppage of play, as officials will discuss it, the referee and the side judge, and they're going to say it's about a half yard short. The lone back in the backfield is Spiegelberg. Hayes over center. He'll pitch it back to Spiegelberg to the left side, gets outside, bounces off one tackle, and probably dropped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe has enough for the first down.
That should have been about a 3-4 yard loss, and you're right, it looks like the official, the white hat, just signaled the first down, but East had him in the backfield, but too many guys trying to arm tackle him and not get him around his waist or his legs, trying to tackle him up top, and Spiegelberg's just too big for you to do that as he bounced off a couple of tackles.
The center is Dwayne Nussbaum. He's 5'8", 225, and a senior. The right guard, 6'2", 205 junior. Gatlin Elders. Right tackle is Connor Shop. He's 6'6", 250, and a senior. First down and 10. Ball on the 14-yard line of KW. Rolling to his right side is Hayes. He steps, he throws, and it's incomplete, trying to hook up with McNair. And again, that's what East wants.
Right,
they want him to throw the football.
That was a good job there by Lookout and Allmiller. They actually had he threw that into double coverage as McAdam went on the deep out from that tight end spot. And, when you're going up against the wind, I just think on first down, when you have a running back like Spiegelberg, why even tempt to try to pass on first down?
Again, you want to show something different, though, because obviously with Coach Vance and Coach Goff, they've seen each other enough times that, once in a while you try to throw an extra play in the playbook. High formation behind Hayes, second down at 10, and to the second back, it's Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg breaks 3 and bulls his way forward for about 6 yards, maybe 7 on the play. Looks like up to the 21-yard line, so we'll give him 7. Third down and 3. Pepsi scoreboard right now at the 7:25 mark here in quarter number 1. 7-0. Cheyenne East taking the initial drive as they went 72 yards on a very, very well-engineered drive by Graydon Buell, sophomore quarterback for Cheyenne East. Right now, the Kelly Walsh Trojans trying to answer back. Started on their own 4-yard line. Right now, they sit at their own 22, so we're looking at third down at 2. Hayes over center. Barks out the signals to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg bottled up and drives forward. That is a nice job by Spiegelberg as he was actually bottled up around the 20 and kept the Pistons pumping, got to the 23. He's short. It's going to be fourth down and 1.
8 guys in the box right there for East as they knew what was coming, and still, even knowing what was coming, he still was able to bulldoze his way for at least a yard, as it looks like they have the offense still on the field. Fourth down, and it looks like a pretty good size 1 yard needed for Casper Kelly Walsh. We'll see if they try to get maybe East to jump off sides.
Ox Schroeder along with Robert Lukow, they are back and hold everything. A timeout has been called by the T-Birds. They had their punt return team in, and Casper Kelly Walsh said, no, we may go for it. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. Timeout of the field. 6:18 to go here in quarter number one. East 7, KW nothing. We're back after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back to the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Larry Proetti along with Chris Polk, Nick Proetti. Coach Steve Hesford out there talking with his defensive unit. So let's see what's going to come about. It looks like K-Dub will line up as they are going to go for it.
Again, 8 in the box here. Now 9 in the box as Allmiller's way up.
And Hayes will call his own number. He gets over the 25-yard line, then driven back. He should have the first down. Matter of fact, if I look at his forward progress, they'll say the 26.
Yeah, good size gain there on the QB sneak to really get the first down with ease. And how about Coach Vance really showing confidence in that offensive line? You can tell this team is built on that offensive line. Dwayne Nussbaum gets all the kudos on that. Again, your center, your quarterback will tap you on the left side or the right side, which way he wants to go. And Nussbaum cleared out the little hole for Hayes. Matt Hayes, again, the senior quarterback. Over center with one back behind him, that being Brock Spiegelberg, and they'll go on a counter this time. The counter to Wilson. Wilson still on his feet as he gets it up to the 43-yard line, and then a late flag comes out. That will be against Cheyenne East. That does not make the coaching staff very happy on the Thunderbird sideline. Flag came in after the play as Wilson got up to the 45-yard line. If they marked it, well, they'll say 44. So an 18-yard run, personal foul whistle against the T-Birds. That's 15 more tacked on. Well, and we were talking about how they like to do those counter-type plays, and that time of misdirection, you had East, everyone going towards Spiegelberg, and Spencer Wilson just kind of snuck in behind, going right behind the big right tackle, Connor Shop, and that's, that for a defense that has been doing a good job containing, you just gave up a double big play. Not only did you give up 18 yards rushing, but you tacked on another 15 with the penalty.
Down to the East 41-yard line. Yeah, Spiegelberg's going to draw a crowd wherever he goes, but the flow went the opposite way, and Wilson tacked on some huge yards as he's flanked now to the near side. KW going left to right across your radio dial on 1480 KRAE. Hayes back to pass, rolls to his left. Steps, throws, incomplete, try to hook up again. Obviously, it looks like that McAdams going to be his prime target.
That time it was Tyler Whitley on the
Tyler Whitley.
Chance Allmiller again coming down from the safety position, doing a good job picking up the receiver, and looked like he may have gotten a little bit of that pass. But once again, another first down, and you see Casper Kelly Walsh trying to pass us now 2 times on their first downs where they've tried to pass.
Jaden Simmons will check in as he brings in the play from Coach Vance, as he now will split to the near side. Whitley out on top. Second down and 10, ball resting on the T-Bird 41-yard line. Whitley in motion, and they will hand it off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg ducks his head and driven down at the 40-yard line as he was tackled by, it looked like, Robert Lukow. So Spiegelberg down to the 40, gain of 1, third down and 9.
One thing that's really nice there, Larry, is you're seeing a lot of black when they go to tackle Spiegelberg. You're going to have to tackle him as a team. Not one guy's going to be able to bring him down. There they tried to counter again, this time with Spiegelberg, but this time East playing a little bit more disciplined, especially on that front 4. Big third down here now for Casper Kelly Walsh.
Hayes awaiting the play to come in from the side, as it does come in with Sage Coventry. He's a 6'4", 180-pound senior. He trots it in, and he will split out on top. To the near side is Whitley. Hold everything, got a timeout. Looks like it's going to be K-Dub calling the timeout. So Casper Kelly Walsh asks for the timeout. We will get that timeout as well. 4:52 to go here in quarter number 1. 7-0 Thunderbirds on top of the Trojans. We're back after this 30-second timeout. Thunder Basin, we saw a very improved Thunder Basin. We're seeing a Casper Kelly Walsh team and a Cheyenne East Thunderbird team that's been one of the top 4 teams over the years, but we're looking at a John Vance team that says, hey, wait a minute, we want to get invited to this dance. He's got some big hosses up front right now that I think that can do the job. Defensively, though, the East Thunderbirds really surgically just cut them up.
Yeah, and for Casper Kelly Walsh, kind of a theme is not to get behind too far on the 8 ball, no 3rd and longs, and here they'll have their first 3rd and long. 3rd
and 9, Hayes back to pass. Has plenty of time. Protection breaks down. He's on the run, and he'll be brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Well, I'll tell you what, he looked downfield. Nothing was open. Good coverage that time by the secondary of the T-Birds. When the protection broke down, he took off and ran with it and got back to the original line of scrimmage. 4th down, ball on the 40-yard line of the Thunderbirds. I'm going to venture to say that John Vance says 4-down territory.
Yeah, well, and for Hayes, if he was able to stay in the pocket just for a little bit, he had Spencer Wilson on the drag, nobody with him. Not only would Wilson have had the first down, he would have had a big play as there was nobody in front of him. And so good job by the front 4 for East to get Hayes moving, especially moving to the left for the right-handed throwing quarterback. And good job to keep him in that pocket and swallow him up.
Javon Davis bringing the play from the sidelines on 4th down and 9, hold everything, a whistle. I do believe it's going to be against the Trojans.
Looked like everybody but the center
moved on that one.
Yeah.
So with that, it's going to set them back to the 45-yard line. That automatically changes things up. So here comes the punting unit, and it looks like Davis will drop back deep for the Trojans, and for Cheyenne East, it'll be Luckow along with Ox Schroeder as they'll stand back around their 5-yard line. Again, booting into a wind that is blowing into their face right now.
Yeah, with how deep they are, if that ball's coming to them, you might as well just let it go into the end zone. It's going to be a
And this one is going to go end over end and not good. And takes an East bounce to boot. East is going to get great field position out of this at the 31-yard line. We're talking a 9-yard punt. Check that. 14-yard.
14-yard, yeah. Not a great way to pin the team back when you're able to flip the field over. But now for the second time, East is going to have fairly decent field position here to start.
End over end, right into the wind, and I mean the wind pushed it right back. Miller will come to the near side. Merritt out on top. As he's joined by Michaeli in the backfield. Buell. And he'll hand it off to Cooper. Cooper straight ahead and nice, just good old-fashioned, just straight blocking ahead by the offensive line. We used to call that a power play back in high school so long ago. You kind of form like a little wedge and just go straight ahead. And again for Cooper on the play, it's about 6 yards.
One thing, too, is to think is for Casper Kelly Walsh, they had 10 plays, 56 yards. Their 2 D tackles are their 2 tackles on offense. You got to think Coach Goff is going to try to tire those big ends out. And right there, he just went straight after him, right in the teeth of that defense.
Cooper now will line up to the right side of Buell as he checks out a 2nd down and 4 call. In motion is Merritt. They'll give it off to Merritt. Merritt gets a block down the sidelines, and he will step out. It looks like at the midfield, I would say.
And then there's some laundry on the other side as well.
So a flag on the far side, so hold the phone. It will be against the East T-Birds, and it will march him back. Preliminary indication is holding.
Going to be the 3rd penalty on East here in this first quarter, and it's going to be 30 yards if it is a holding call.
So it'll march him back to the 33. Again, it's where the infraction happened in high school. So from the 43 where the flag was dropped, it'll march it back to the 33. So for the T-Birds, they'll retool on 2nd down and 8.
Well, and we talked to Coach Goff. He said Merritt was probably the fastest guy on the team, trying to get him out into space, and he did a good job, but obviously with that hold, that may have been the reason why he had so much room on that outside.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the T-Birds put it in the air right now. Michael along with Miller and Lukow are to the near side. Trips to the near side. Buell, and he'll hand it off to Cooper. Cooper straight ahead, wrapped up at a flag, and I think that might be face mask against Casper Kelly Walsh.
That's what it looks like as well. It looked like the side judge on the opposite end of us had grabbed his mask, and it is against Casper Kelly Walsh. So both teams with 3 penalties here in this first quarter.
Give Cooper 7 yards on the run, and you'll tack on some additional yardage, which will give him the first down by penalty. Again, unintentional face mask, so it'll only be a 5-yarder, so at near the 45-yard line of Cheyenne East. Thunderbirds in great field position here on a very threatening evening. Again, we have some thunderhead above us, but we haven't had the lightning or the thunder, and again, it's been spitting from time to time. Nice night, though, for football here at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. In motion is Merritt, and Buell will roll to his left. Has time. Protection breaks down, gets away from one tackler, steps up, throws. Got him back! Fumbles the ball, and I do believe Casper Kelly Walsh will come away with it. It went into the hands of Zach Valerio. He was popped at the 48-yard line of KW. The ball spilled out, and on the 46, Casper Kelly Walsh will pick it up, and Javon Davis will pick it up, and it'll be first down and 10. Great field position for the Trojans.
And what just a momentum stealer, too. Looked like Graydon Buell was going to be sacked. He got away from it, kept his eyes downfield, found the wide open player, and then it looked like Vieira just never was able to put the ball away before he started running, trying to do a little bit too much. Casper Kelly Walsh, so taking full advantage of that, and as you said, Davis pouncing on the ball. That's our first turnover tonight. As we said, one of the keys would be that turnover battle. Go +1 now for Casper Kelly Walsh.
As we see 737 flying, or is that the Airbus that's flying out of Cheyenne Airport? Again, some of the DIA flights have been diverted up here this evening. First down at 10. Ball on the KW 46-yard line. Hayes to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg midfield and down to the 49-yard line of Cheyenne East. 5 yards on the carry as we got about 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. Thunderbirds lead 7-0.
One thing Coach Goff said that this front 5 do for the Casper Kelly Walsh linemen is they get inside of you and they can just hold you right there and push you. With how big they are, they average about 270 on the line.
For the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, 2nd down and 5, 49-yard line of the T-Birds. Spiegelberg again, off tackle left side, first down and more, still on his feet, 30-yard line, breaks a tackle, down to the 20-yard line. Saving tackle that time by Robert Lukow for Cheyenne East, preventing Spiegelberg from getting into the end zone.
Last thing you want to do if you're East is let Spiegelberg get momentum going. He was not touched through the first 2 levels, and with that, as he builds that momentum, nobody was able to bring him down on the first hit, but a great job by the defensive, or the secondary for East to at least just grab and on for dear life.
Chad Billa and Cameron Mella on that left side opened up a huge hole. You can drive a truck through using the old terminology on that one. It is first down and 10, 20-yard line of the T-Birds. Hash mark to the far side, hand off to the first back through. Down to the 17-yard line goes Spencer Wilson off tackle. And for the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, they'll look at a 2nd down and 7. Ball right down the 17-yard line, about $1.03 to go here in the first period. So we may be switching sides the way this offense is pretty deliberate by the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans.
And I'll say this first quarter has gone a lot faster than our first quarter from last week.
How about our third quarter last week? That went forever. Hayes over center, offset eye behind him. On the counter that time, they'll give it to the first back through, that being Spencer Wilson. Wilson shy of the 15-yard line, 16-yard line. Give a yard. So right now for the Trojans, they're faced with a 3rd down and 6. Might not get this play off.
Great job there by Eldridge, really sticking Wilson on that. Again, they tried that little underneath handoff that sprung Spencer Wilson on that first drive for 18 yards. But that time, a good adjustment there by the linebacker.
Out of the pistol, they're going to go with Spiegelberg, as he will keep it himself. Sweeping to the right side, puts his head down. He'll be short of the first down to the 13-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 3 as quarter number 1 has expired. After 1, Cheyenne East 7. Casper Kelly Walsh on the march down to the East 13-yard line. They have nothing. We're back after this 60-second timeout of 1480 KRAE. Plays coming up for the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds as the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans knocking on the door, but 3 yards, a little tough sometimes when you get down into very short real estate. So the ball right now at the 13-yard line, it's 4th down. Hayes brings them up. Actually, no, they're going to operate again out of the pistol with Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg will sweep again to the right side, cuts it back in. I don't think he got it. I think he's going to be short.
If he is, that's a great job on the left side. It looked like
East football on downs.
Alexander was the one with the first hit, stopping Spiegelberg short. And how about that for Cheyenne East, the defense picking up the offense?
And again, last time they were aided by a penalty that stopped a really good drive by the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. They go to the pistol twice with Spiegelberg sweeping right, and this time the T-Birds snuffed it out at the 11-yard line, so it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the T-Birds.
Looked like for Vance, he just wanted to, let his big uglies do the job, and good job by East to answer the call 2 times in a row there.
For the T-Birds, Riley Cooper will stand to now he'll shift over to the left side out of the pistol as well. Will be Buell. Buell to Cooper. Cooper puts his head down and goes virtually nowhere. Try to go over the left side behind Marshall Brown and Jacob Fernandez, and that one shut down in a hurry. No gain. 2nd down and 10. Again, we say welcome to everybody listening to us on the radio side, also to streaming with us on our YouTube channel, 1480 KRAE. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Great ball game here, and again, nice crowd on the home side here for the Cheyenne Thunderbirds and those making the trip down from Toronto County to watch their Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Larry Proati, Chris Polton, Nick Proati. We're high atop at the new Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. Buell out of the gun, 2nd down and 10. Back to pass, straight drop back, has time. Steps, throws, and we might have no flag. Oh, wow.
I mean, Merritt was grabbed. Hit. Yeah, Merritt had the lane on the post, and he definitely got grabbed. I think he was grabbed there by Davis, the safety, just trying to slow him down. And for Buell, that was a great ball. And I think if Merritt doesn't get hit there, he catches that and he's off to the races.
Umpire did not want to throw the flag on that one. So for the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds, and again, they've got the wind in their face now. However, if you look at the flags, they have shifted again.
Kind of home field advantage, right? You just let the wind know what you want.
If I didn't know any better, I thought it was that old Candlestick Park here. 3rd down and 10 for the T-Birds. Ball on their own 11-yard line. Buell again operates out of the gun. And he'll call his own number straight ahead. He'll have the first down as he punches it up to the 21-yard line. Maybe they'll say the 21, so give him 10 on the gain. Again, doing the nice little belly action with Cooper, and the T-Birds will have a fresh set of downs at the 21.
Buell now with 3 carries and 41 yards. He's doing a great job on that read option right there. Well, once again, he keeps it in the belly late, pulls it out, and finds his gap and takes off. Big third down conversion there for Cheyenne East.
Russell Wilson in Seattle does that very well. A few years back when he had the tools with him there. But I'll tell you what, he's very good on that belly. This time they'll give it off to Merritt out of his flanker position. Merritt down the sidelines to the 40-yard line and beyond on the left side, on the far side. So nice job by Dakota Merritt.
They went back to a play where they had the big play was called back on a holding call this time. They did a great job sealing the end, letting Merritt use his speed to get outside. A big gain of 20 yards there.
20-yard gain to the 41-yard line. Another first down for the T-Birds, as Robert Lukow will come in with the play. Also, Buell snuck on over real quick to chat with Chad Goff. And let's see what the Thunderbirds will come up with. Again, first down at their own 41-yard line. About 10-20 to go here in the first half. Buell sizes up the defense. Again, out of the gun. Back to pass. Looking long. Wants it all. Got him in. Incomplete. And we're going to get a pass interference. And that one, unfortunately, you have to call that one because he was grabbing on down the sidelines as he was trying to hook up with Michaeli.
You could make the argument, though, that one was uncatchable, but for the standpoint of the fact that, I don't know if that's maybe a little bit of a makeup call from the first one that wasn't called. Obviously, you don't ever want to question it, but there must have been 2 penalties because he's got his hat off, too. Yeah, it's a pass interference and unsportsmanlike conduct.
So Whitley will be called for the foul. And again, I'm going to venture to say he probably got the unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, in high school football, it's not like the pros. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Defensive pass interference, or be a 15-yard penalty from the previous. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the defense.
So 30-yard penalty total on the 2 infractions. That will march the ball down, and it'll put it deep into KW territory. Looks like at the 28-yard line on the hash mark on the far side. So for Cheyenne East, they're in business, looking to increase their lead as they're up 7-0 here in the first half.
A game last week where we didn't see too many penalties. Here in this first quarter and change, we've seen 8 penalties and 60 yards with those penalties as well. So both teams need to. You'll probably have a lot of talk in the halftime about cleaning up the game.
In motion comes Merritt from the far side. They'll hand it off to Cooper. Cooper goes off the left side, still on his feet, and then dragged down. I mean, he was bowled down at the 41. I checked at the 21-yard line. Excuse me.
And that was Davian McAdam tried to strip it as well. You can see the violent rip, but Cooper doing a good job with the ball control. There is Riley Cooper's been that guy where when they get into this red zone area, he was the guy they called a lot upon in that red zone against Campbell County.
McAdam looked like a good steer wrestler there for Frontier days, I'll tell you what, as he brought Cooper down at the 21-yard line. That is a pickup of 7 on the play. We're going to call it 2nd down and 3 with Buell and Cooper. Cooper now will line up to the right in the pistol formation. Buell looks over to the side. He's got Schroeder and Lukow out on top, hold everything. A whistle and a delay of game called against Cheyenne East. So with 9:14 to go here in the first half, and you mentioned, again, for a couple of teams that are pretty decent, a lot of whistles here in the first half.
Yeah, and one thing that kind of stinks at the high school levels, you don't see the play clock. You know, in college and in the NFL, you see that, you can call a quick timeout. Here, there's no play clock. So tougher to kind of realize how quickly it's coming down, but that's a big penalty after what was a really good first down gain. It looks like Dakota Merritt's in at quarterback.
So Merritt now will jump into the pistol, and he'll keep it himself. Calls his own number, tries to sweep outside, puts his head, well, actually he was going to straight arm, and he'll be driven down at the 25-yard line, maybe the 26. It depends. It's in front of the East bench. So they'll get back maybe a couple of the yards. So they still have to get down to the 18-yard line, so we're going to call it 3rd down and 7
Looks like
for East. So give them 1.
Yeah, tried to get around the corner, got around Spiegelberg, but good job by Tyler Whitley to come up and supply the assistance there for Spiegelberg.
Schroeder split to the near side. Out on top is Miller along with Lukow. Back in at quarterback in the gun is Buell. Buell under pressure, and down he goes, as he will be decked at the 24-yard line. Well, I'll tell you what, that protection broke down in a hurry for Cheyenne, especially on that left side.
Well, I think it was Zach Higgins on that left side. Spiegelberg just gave him a nice little juke move and left his jockstrap out there, as Spiegelberg went pretty much untouched to Graydon Buell to pick up his first sack tonight.
4th down for the T-Birds. Again, with the wind shifting around, Dakota Merritt has a pretty good leg, but may be out of his reach at this particular length with the wind again swirling around. Timeout has been called, 8:27 to go here first half. East 7, KW nothing. Back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. Trying to break through the overcast that we had. Looks like that rain and that developing thunderstorm looks like it's pushing off more to, it looks like the south right now, so that's good news. So we should have some good football action for you. And the one thing too, we don't want it raining, we don't want that turf wet. We're going to have Merritt. He's going to line it up, hash mark to the right side. It's going to be a 47-yard attempt. Again, the kid's got a good leg out of the hole to Beal. Placement is down. The kick is going to be a low line drive and short. No good.
It didn't look like it had a chance right from the get. As you can see, Merritt kind of showing he had slipped when he went to put that plant foot down. As you said before the game, a little bit of moisture. We also saw at Central a lot of guys slipping on the turf, and maybe that was what happened there for Dakota Merritt. But a nice job by Casper, Kelly Walsh after the 30 yards and penalties, able to stop the Cheyenne East. But again, a delay of game kind of stopped their momentum as they had, what was it, second and 4, and that penalty kind of stopped the wheels there.
Well, again, unlike the pros, high school will send it back to the 20-yard line after the missed field goal. So here comes the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Matt Hayes, the quarterback. In the backfield with him is Wilson, and operated on the I, the tailback, is Spiegelberg. Back to pass goes Hayes. Hayes steps, throws, got it, and that is Whitley. Whitley will have the first down. Nice little slant pattern as he picks up 12 on the play to the 32-yard line. And it will be first down and 10. Again, nice job defensively by East, because, again, when you do those slant patterns, those can take off and go for many yards.
Well, at this point, you know you're going to get one-on-one coverage on the outside. Good call there by Casper Kelly Walsh. It was an easy completion for Hayes and maybe get him a little bit of momentum from under center.
Hayes will hand off to Spiegelberg, boxed up and dropped right at the line of scrimmage.
Brock Spiegelberg carrying the ball for the Trojans.
Couple of hands in there right away. One was Brandon Deasing, also Landon Eldridge, as they kind of wrapped him up and dropped him right there at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be second down and 10. Ball at the 32-yard line.
That was his 10th carry, 53 yards for Spiegelberg here with, again, about 7:40 left here in the first half.
Second down and 10. Whitley will flank to the near side. Also, he'll have some company there. They'll hand it off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg straight ahead, breaks a tackle, still driving, first down and more. Spiegelberg takes it all the way to the 44-yard line. He was kind of boxed up around the 36, and then the rest was on his own.
Remember Little Giants when they had that Spike, the running back? That looked like Spike running the ball with all the Little Giant players on his back as he carried a handful of Thunderbird defensemen right there.
And again, as you were saying earlier about Brock, he's not tall and wide, but he's very thick around the thigh area, thigh and hamstrings. And I'll tell you what, once those legs are moving, he's hard to bring down. I formation. First down and 10, ball on the 44-yard line of the Trojans. Back to pass goes Hayes. Looking long. Watson, got a man downfield. It's caught. In for the touchdown will be Casper Kelly Walsh.
Sage Coventry made the catch, kept himself in bounds, then stepped over Michaeli and ran it in for the rest of the way. It's I believe a
56-yard touchdown strike from Matt Hayes to Coventry. Wow. And again, taking advantage of the wind. Well, there is no wind now. The flags went completely limp.
Well, Michaeli looked like he had his eyes into the backfield as Coventry went right by him untouched. When the ball was up, I was wondering if it was going to stay up too long for Michaeli to make the recovery, but he went to dive for it, went straight to the ground.
Davis's kick is good. Out of the hold of Whitley. 7-7 our score, 6:54 to go here in the first half. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. Back finding the 6'4" wide receiver down the sideline on the far side. Sage Coventry for the touchdown. PAT added by Davis. We got a game, 7-7.
Well, again, East has had a chance to really take a stranglehold in this first half, get up by 2 possessions. Penalties have hurt them here in this first half, and right there after they had a drive stop, Kelly Walsh able to really capitalize on a great big play from the quarterback.
Same could be said, though, for Casper Kelly Walsh. They've hurt themselves a couple of times as well. Davis to put a foot into it as it will go out of bounds. Both teams trying to stay away from their respective return teams. Keep it away from Lukow. So the T-Birds were going to get good field position again.
Yeah, this will be the second time that they'll start from right around that, between that 30 to 35 yard line. And
they'll say 35 on the penalty. So for the T-Birds, again, and then one thing too, they've had pretty decent field position here in the first half.
Well, and you can't really say Casper Kelly Walsh's defense has stopped Cheyenne East yet. It's been East both times that has stopped themselves.
First down at 10. Shorter out on top along with Merritt to the near side. It's Miller. And back to pass goes Buell. Steps up. No, he'll tuck it. Now he'll step up and throw. Got him! That's Miller, makes the grab at the 36-yard line. Nice job as Buell pump faked and then came back to his secondary side and found Chance Miller.
How about that? A 22-yard frozen rope from Buell on the run to Chance Miller. Great play there by the sophomore, who really doesn't play like an underclassman.
Ball spotted at the 43-yard line of Casper Kelly Walsh. As the Pepsi scoreboard winds down, 6:45 to go here in the first half. Miller to the near side. Operating again out of the pistol is Buell as he'll move Cooper over to his left. He'll hand it off to Cooper. Cooper straight ahead. Downfield he goes to the 33-yard line. Give him at least a first down.
Looks like they're going to spot him just short, and Cooper's on the turf.
A little slow to get up, yes.
Trojan Spencer Wilson.
Wilson will make the tackle. He's at the 33. It will be a first down.
Jaden Eifert coming in for Cheyenne East. A little bit different pace, you can say, from Riley Cooper and Jaden Eifert.
So for the T-Birds, they will have a fresh set of downs. Well, actually, now they move it back to the 34-yard line. So they're about a half yard shy.
And one thing, too, this is our first chance seeing Buell. We saw him a little bit last year in Rock Springs, but seeing him here this year, just the poise he has in the pocket there. He looked at 3 different reads, then took off, and Miller did a great job coming back to the ball. But with Buell, instead of just tucking in a run, kept his eyes downfield. We saw a good quarterback last week in Mason Hamilton. Graydon Buell also showing he should be in the talks for one of the top quarterbacks in 4A.
Right now, still on the Okie Blanchard turf is one Cooper. Now they'll help him up. And the good news is he's going to walk off under his own power. Might be calf or ankle.
It looks like the ankle is taped. He's got that light blue tape on there, so maybe you'll go to the trainer and see if they can't get maybe a new tape job. And Riley Cooper's was a big part of this offense last week. It's been a big part of the offense here today. And, for Coach Goff, he's deep when he said from the athletic standpoint with the skill players, but you never like to see your feature back go down.
He will go underneath right now to get some attending to. Second down and short for Cheyenne East. In motion is Merritt. Buell will call his own number. He'll have the first down as he will step forward to the 32-yard line down in KW territory as the East T-Birds will move the chains.
Buell with the carry for the Thunderbirds.
Looks like it's going to be close enough to where they may.
I can't believe they're calling that. He actually, where I saw it, he got down to the 32. Now, official comes in from the side.
Well, it looks like that ball is placed on the other side of the third. Now they give him the first down. I was going to say, you have one, the White Hat's not calling for a first down.
They're a bunch of old guys like me. Let's be real here, The first thing to go is the eyes. Yeah. Trust me on that one.
The side judge had to come in and say, wait a second, this should be a first down.
He said, now, Gramps, wait a minute here, pal. All right, first down and 10 for the T-Birds, and we'll spot it at the, they're going to say the 33-yard line. I actually thought Buell got down to the 32, but they'll say 33. In the backfield right now is Jaden Eifert. He will line up to the right side of Buell. Fake the handoff. Buell back to pass, looking long for Miller, and just let him too much. Miller had a step on Whitley, incomplete. It will be second down and 10. Just a good old-fashioned streak pattern down the sidelines.
And I didn't mean to point at Miller. I was pointing at Oswald, the tight end. He was even more open than Miller while in that inside seam, and Buell just missed him, went to his lanky receiver on the outside. Good coverage there by Tyler Whitley to really catch up to Miller as they try to go with the one big play to take back the lead.
Schroeder and Lukow split out on top. Merritt to the near side. Second down and 10 for the T-Birds. In motion comes Dakota Merritt, and they'll come back on the counter this time. Eifert spun down as he will take it down to the 29-yard line of K-Dub. 4-yard run on the play. It's third down and 6 for the T-Birds.
Kind of a change of pace, too, when it comes from height and speed. Eifert able to get low and really make it hard when he's inside the tackles to find him.
So for Cheyenne East, they have the ball on the Casper Kelly Walsh 29-yard line. Miller, Schroeder, along with, looks like Lukow, all split out on top. They'll come back to Eifert straight ahead. He's near the first down, if not has it. Let's see, the one official from the side says he's down in between the 22-23, and automatically they will go with that as a first down.
Good job there by Eifert. He saw the seam, he didn't waste any time, went right through it, and by the time he got to that second level, he was finally hit. Great job by the front five of East, too, to really open that gap. Again, the 2D tackles for Casper, Kelly Walsh, and Mellon and Shop, averaging close to 300 pounds apiece.
Oh, by the way, Eifert, little tough to recognize. He's only 5'3" as he comes through the hole. Back to Eifert again. Eifert off tackle as he kicks it out down to the 19-yard line, and they pick up a 4 on the play.
Yeah, and Eifert that time with a nice little stutter step and go, letting his line really set up the hole. Again, you can see the defensive tackles. They're trying to find him, trying to shuck the lineman, and he's just so tough to find, and he's quick. So he finds that lane and gets going.
We're approaching the 4-minute mark here of the first half, and again, a game that is moving along pretty doggone quickly here for both East and Casper Kelly Walsh. T-Birds on the march inside the red zone. It is 2nd down and 6. Buell out of the gun. Back to pass. Has time. Rolls, steps, throws, got a man. That is shorter, down inside the 10 to the 9. That'll be enough for a first down. And the T-Birds will have first down and goal.
Another great job by Buell, staying patient in the pocket. Even when he's scrambling back and forth, he's still able to keep his eyes downfield and make the completion. That's now 5 different receivers he's made a completion with.
He's a dancer. He likes to dance in that pocket. And then when he sees the pocket break it down, he dances off to the right or the left. First down and goal. Ball on the 9-yard line for the T-Birds. Buell. Eifert straight ahead to the 5-in touchdown.
Gotta love that. Riley Cooper, your starting running back, goes down, and all that happens is you bring in Jaden Eifert. He goes 4 carries on that drive for 25 yards and a touchdown.
9-yard run by Jaden Eifert, and the T-Birds reclaim the lead 13-7 with 3:28 to go here in quarter number 2. Merritt out of the hole to Buell for the PAT. Placement is down. Kick is high enough, long enough, and it is good. East 14, Casper, Kelly Walsh 7. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. On the ground, and good passing by Graydon Buell, 65 yards on that total drive for the Thunderbirds to get back on top, 14-7. Question is, will that defense be able to take that lead into the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, the East defense, outside of one big play with that big pass play, has done a good job to contain Casper, Kelly Walsh. One thing that was big, though, for Coach Goff and his young team is having his offense, after a drive that got stalled because of penalty, come out and then put together a nice drive to retake the lead. That's something that has to give you confidence as a head coach.
McAdam hold everything. Looks like he's coming off the field.
He has the wrong catching glove on.
So Spiegelberg will have to come back onto the field to replace him. So McAdam comes off.
I would not kick it to Spiegelberg, because if he can get some momentum, 10 yards.
Well, I don't know if you want to kick it to Whitley either. I mean, you don't want to use the word lesser two evils here, but again, very capable returners. Spiegelberg coming in for McAdam. And again, just trying to look across the way to see what it was. I don't know, it was something with the gloves. Merritt has it teed up. And this one will float into the end zone as it's, Whitley catches it at 1 yard deep. Look back at the official, and the official was waving his arm. Usually I thought when it went into the end zone, they would call it dead at the 20.
So he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and maybe where the Whitehead had initially saw it, it wasn't fully into the end zone. You can see Coach Vance coming out wanting a little bit of an explanation on why that whistle wasn't blown.
Yeah, because that is a high school rule. If it touches the end zone or the end line, it automatically goes to the 20-yard line. But with that being said, Whitley looked back at the official, did not get the call, and then decided to take it out. Tried to get as far as he could as he went from, got over to the left side and got up to the 18-yard line. First down and 10 for KW. Again, they will have the football to start the second half since they deferred here in the first quarter.
Please report to the finish line on the
And it will be Matt Hayes over center. Spiegelberg, the lone back of the backfield. And they'll pitch it back. Spiegelberg trying to get outside, cuts it back inside. And again, he left one Cheyenne Thunderbird standing there with his jaw dropped.
That was Zach Alexander, one of the leading tacklers that came back from last year's team. He had tried to keep contained a little bit too much, wanted to keep Spiegelberg to jump back inside, and Spiegelberg took it, but nobody was there to help out Alexander on that backside of the defense.
8 yards on the play to the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 2 for K-Dub. Wilson, the up back, out of the eye with Spiegelberg. And we're going to have movement on a hard count. Nice job by Hayes, 5 freebies.
That's the 2nd time now this front 4 for Cheyenne East has jumped off sides on a nice hard count by Matt Hayes. It's an easy 1st down.
Just shy of the 32-yard line. 1st down and 10. 2:40 to go here in the period. If I'm not mistaken, I think Casper Kelly Walsh has 2 timeouts left here in the 1st half.
They do.
Hayes over center. 2nd back through is Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg outside and again driving on the far side to the 43-yard line. 11 yards on that gain.
Again, you got to get a body on him. You can't let him get to the 2nd level without getting touched. Once he gets that momentum going, he's really tough to bring down. We talking to Coach Goff, he said he saw that guy in camp in the offseason, and he saw him running. He wanted to get out of the way once he got moving full speed. He's not an easy tackle once he gets to that 2nd level.
And Shop blocking down, opened a big hole. Back to pass goes Hayes. He steps, he throws, he's got a man. That's Whitley. Whitley into East territory, down to the 38-yard line. And it will be 1st down and 10. Clock still running. It will stop as the chains will move to 15 on the Pepsi scoreboard. And I'll tell you what, talking about finding their mojo offensively now are the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Coventry will come in. He'll split out on top. Check that to the near side. Back to pass. They'll set it up for the screen. Into the hands of Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg can't get away from 1 tackle as he's dropped at the 36-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Got about $1.50 to go. Nice setup on the screen. Cheyenne snuffed that one out quickly.
Tegan Freeman with a great open field tackle. We said it's tough for one person to bring him down, but Freeman did. And if he doesn't, Spiegelberg's off to the races.
Bringing in the play for the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans is Davis. Splitting on top is Coventry along with McAdam. Davis to the near side. 2nd down 8. Spiegelberg straight ahead. Still on his feet. And down to the east 23-yard line, 24-yard line. 1st down and 10. So the Trojans right now need to manage the clock a little bit. There's 76 seconds to go. Still have 24 yards to go. Doing it all on the ground.
Of course, when you get 12 yards a pop, you can go ahead and keep your offense on the ground. Make sure East doesn't have a chance to get the ball back in this 1st half.
Whitley out on top, Davis to the near side. And on the counter, they go to Wilson this time. Wilson breaks a couple of tackles down to the 21-yard. Check the 20-yard line. There is a flag down on the field holding the preliminary indication against the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans.
Yeah, it looked like on the back side, one of the defensive ends had tried to come in, and I think it was either Shop or Bila on that right side, Higgins. Let me get to the right roster here. Wagstaff on that right side that had grabbed the player trying to get to Wilson. And that's a big penalty for Casper Kelly Walsh.
That will march him back to the 35-yard line. So it's a big penalty indeed. 1st down, and we'll see right now for KW about 21 yards to go. Hold everything.
Oh, the classic tie the shoe trick there to get a little easy timeout, I guess.
And Wilson has it laced up, offset eye behind Hayes.
And now Lookout has to do the same thing in this, but he's getting some help though. Chance Allmiller with the assist on the shoe tie.
So for the T-Birds, defensively trying to snuff out this Casper Kelly Walsh drive. They're going to reset the clock here due to the shoe tying timeout. 53 seconds officially left here in the 1st half. Offset eye. Wilson along with Spiegelberg. He's showing blitz. Back to pass goes Hayes. Hayes has time. Looks, throws, got him in. That's McAdam. McAdam will make the grab. Looks like on the far side at the 18-yard line. It'll be second down, and we'll call it short. Second down, maybe about 3.5.
Nice little 18-yard pickup there on 1st and long.
And again, with Casper Kelly Walsh, they throw because they need to. Tonight, they're throwing because it's there.
Yeah, and the zone coverage really on that right side broke down for East, and great job by the offensive line too. Hayes had forever and a day to find someone, and you only had 3 guys going out for pass as well. So McAdam found a hole in the zone and was able to get a big chunk back. About, looks like they're calling it 2nd and 4. So 17 yards on the pass and catch.
Run was out of bounds.
So they're going to say 40 seconds on the clock as McAdam was knocked out of bounds. Hash mark to the far side. Spiegelberg about 7 yards deep. Hayes over center. Along back of the backfield, they'll fake the handoff to Spiegelberg. Back to pass goes Hayes. In and out of the hands of McAdam. Ball was flying in the air, and trying to come back after it was Michaeli for Cheyenne East. Incomplete. Second down. Check that, 3rd down. And short about 4. Ball again resting in between the 18 and 19-yard line.
Hayes put a little bit of sauce on that one right through the hands of McAdam. Almost, he threw it so hard it almost went right into the hands of Michaeli that was over there in the end zone covering one of the tight ends.
Whitley is split out on top. Simmons to the near side. And obviously there was a tripping of the center or the guard as Hayes hits the deck and falls and loses some yardage.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Casper Kelly Walsh. It looks like for the Trojans, it was Nussbaum coming out of his stance a little bit too quick and clipping Hayes, as we'll see the second timeout of the quarter called by, or the half called by Coach Vance. And this is an interesting situation here. You want to try to get
points on the board.
Right, so what do you do here? Do you try to go for the 3, or do you try one?
Well, the question is, does McAdam have that strong enough a leg? Again, the ball right now sits at near the 22-yard line, so we're looking at somewhere about a 40-yard field goal attempt. Winds have shifted again, coming basically out of a west-east direction right now. So, again, that's the way they're going down the field.
Well, if the point after attempt was any indication of the leg, you're not giving your field goal kicker a chance here, as that one was just kind of a looping
And that was
kick.
Davis, as a matter of fact, who was the kicker. So let's see what the plan of attack is. 4th down. Ball right now spotted at the 22-yard line of the T-Birds. They need to get inside the 15. Spiegelberg the lone back in the backfield. Hayes back to pass. Has time. Steps. Throws. Got him in. And that will be McAdam. He signals a first down. The official signals a first down. Quickly, the Kelly Walsh Trojans.
Number 7, Avian McAdam.
Were thinking about calling a timeout, but they got a break with the chains moving. So the ball right now down to the East 13-yard line.
Good job by McAdam knowing where the first down was, got himself in there and planted himself in the zone, and a strike thrown by Hayes.
Hand off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg off tackle, left side, nowhere to go, maybe a yard, and the Trojans will call for their last timeout. 12 seconds to go here in the period. East 14, Casper Kelly Walsh 7. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. After the timeout, 12 seconds ago, I guess, Christy, you try to toss one in the end zone. Do you give him a dose of Spiegelberg? Again, if Spiegelberg can't get into the end zone,
Better get a first down.
Well, again, you either go. You better make sure you get the first down to get the chains moving. If you don't move the chains, you're going to be at intermission.
I think there's a good chance here, especially with how he's been throwing it. Hayes is going to be putting this one in the air here.
Hayes back to pass. Under heavy rush, down, he loses the football, loose on the turf, and the Thunderbirds.
We're going to call it incomplete pass, but great job by Zach Valerio on that blind side coming and knocking.
Well, they can't call that an incomplete pass. He was sacked.
The white hat is the one that called it incomplete. They're going to say his arm was coming forward. But a big, huge play with now just 4 seconds. This is going to be a big play here to end the half.
Incomplete pass, that is the call, but for the Trojans, it is 4th down. And again, I got to tell you, that one, Hayes was sacked. He was not throwing the football.
It looked like he was not. The ball was not coming forward. A judgment call there. 3rd and 8 with just 4 seconds left. This one has to go to the end zone.
4 seconds, Thunderbird fans.
So with 4 seconds to go, they're going to go for it. On 4th down, Hayes over center. He's back to pass. Straight drop back. Steps, throws. McAdam is picked up. All Miller to the 20, to the 30. Looking for some blockers. Cuts it back. Midfield. And he'll be brought down. Loses the football. It's picked up. But the Thunderbirds will head to the locker room leading 14-7. The Miller interception at the goal line. He returns it 60 yards, coughs it up. The T-Birds pick it up at the Kelly Walsh 38-yard line. What a great end to the first half.
If he doesn't trip over Valerio there, he's gone because he had that cut back the lane and nobody was on that backside. But a huge play there by Chance Miller. Coach Goff said at the beginning he's a freak athlete, and right there he showed it.
As a matter of fact, Coach Goff went out and talked to the official saying, hey, we had him sacked. How come you called that a forward pass? I was watching him, talking to him about that. Anyway, business is taken care of here in the first half as Al Miller picks it off, tried to go the distance on it, and then said, hey, you know what? I just don't have enough people to block for me here. So the good news is the T-Birds will head to the locker room, leading here tonight at Oakey Blanchard Stadium at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex, 14-7 over Casper Kelly Walsh. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. It's going to be a lengthy halftime. We'll be back with our halftime stats and all kinds of other good stuff coming up after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
To the finish line on the track.
Back at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex, 14-7. That is our intermission score. Some excitement. Again, if you're a Casper Kelly Walsh fan, again, we do appreciate you checking us out on 1480 KRAE on our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, not a happy time for you, but for the homers here, Chance Allmiller picking it off right there in the closing 4 seconds as he picked it off at the goal line. I did not say he could go all the way because I saw right away Whitley got back deep, and I knew that if Allmiller was going to beat anybody, we'd have to beat Whitley, and I think that Whitley might have caught him on just a foot race there. But anyway, with that all being said, Allmiller returns it 60 yards from the end zone to the 40-yard line. Then he fumbled it. Valerio falls on it at the 38-yard line. So for Cheyenne East, they head into the locker room. We felt, and the three of us up here, Chris Bolton to my left and Nick Perlotti also to my left, who is taking care of the YouTube channel and the social production. We felt this was going to be the game of the week tonight. It's delivered. It has delivered. There are a couple of heavyweights that are battling right now. East is in front. Casper Kelly Walsh has got to come out right away in the second half. They're going to have to either set the tone, or they're going to have to come on out and, still be smarting from that interception there, and a chance that they had a chance to get into the end zone, and they blew that great opportunity.
Well, one thing, too, that was a little confusing. You had Hayes throwing the ball really well, and they rushed to the line, and they kind of wasted a play just going Spiegelberg on a dive play while the clock was running. They still had one timeout left. I think there you just call a timeout and you get 2 plays to the end zone. Instead, they go with 1 play to the end zone after a great play on a blitz by Valerio to, I guess it was a incomplete pass.
Right.
But,
they try to go to McAdam.
Right, but for Coach Goff, you're going to go into that halftime and really like the way your defense finished the half with their backs against the wall.
And the defense got tested. There's no doubt about it. The offense has also been able to move the football like they did at Gillette. It's interesting, too, as, again, we'll have a lengthy halftime simply for the fact that they are here honoring all of the instructors at Cheyenne East and what they have done throughout their careers here at Cheyenne East. So, again, a nice little tribute to all of the faculty and staff of Cheyenne East. But, you look back on this particular ball game in the first half, 2 heavyweights that are battling, but like Chad Goff told us in the pregame show, last week we got attacked on 100 against the Campbell County Campbells, simply for the fact that they scored 3 and then they tacked on another 42. They got 42 in 1 quarter, and Coach Goff told the official, hey, look, I'm not going to just run the ball even though we have a running clock. I have to see my kids too. I don't want to get my running back have them with their ears pinned back knowing that's going to go to the tailback all the time. We need to run our offense, so we're not going to run the score up, but, we also have to, improve on our offense. I think the offense, as we're looking at, does it have a couple of glitches here and there? Absolutely. But you know what? They are pushing Casper Kelly Walsh up and down the field.
They are, and really, this is a game that when you look at it, you knew this game was going to be dirty in the trenches, and dirty in a good standpoint, as you're going to have 2 blue-collar teams really fighting hard, and when you have one of the better backs in the state in Spiegelberg, and with what Coach Goff has always liked to do, establish the run early, both teams have been able to really kind of at times force their will in the middle, but it's nice seeing one team get a haymaker, come off the deck, throw their own haymaker as well.
At halftime, Cheyenne East leads 14-7. We want to take this opportunity, thanks some great sponsors of our broadcast here in 1480 KRAE. That, of course, the Pepsi scoreboard brought to you by our my very good friend Will and the gang over at Pepsi of Cheyenne, Medicap Pharmacy, Key of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, B&B Appliance and TV, Cap Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, and MHB, McGee Hearn Pies. Again, 14-7, that's our numbers at halftime. We're going to take a timeout here coming up shortly, and when we come back, we're going to get you caught up on some stats for both East as well as Casper Kelly Walsh. And then again, too, we'll try to get you updated on maybe some scores of, I do believe there's only one earlier game that's being played between Central and Sheridan, that being taking place over at Homer Scott Stadium. Again, we also want to thank some more of our fine sponsors, Terrell Honda, Baskin-Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Shine Auto Repair and Service, The Gilwood Company, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, First Year Bank, and Big Apple Bagels. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE.
To Okie Blanchard Sports Complex East with the 14-7 lead at halftime as the Cheyenne East Band is putting on a halftime show down below. Let's take you through the stats. We'll start with Casper Kelly Walsh. Their quarterback, Matt Hayes, 6 of 11 for 113 yards, a touchdown and an interception. You saw it or heard it right there at the end of that first half. He also added 3 carries for 3 rushing yards. The man that Cheyenne East had to stop was Brock Spiegelberg, and they've done a good job containing him for the most part. He hasn't gotten into the end zone yet, but he has 15 carries, 98 yards. Spencer Wilson, 3 carries, 22 yards. For Hayes, his 6 completions have been to 3 different receivers. Tyler Whitley, 2 catches, 31 yards. Sage Coventry, 1 reception for 56 yards. That was that long touchdown pass to tie the ball game early in the second quarter. And then Davian McAdam, 2 receptions for 26 yards. Kelly Walsh again with committing 6 penalties for 45 yards in that first half. They had a turnover. Brock Spiegelberg also added a sack on defense as well. We'll take a 60-second timeout here, and we'll have the Cheyenne East stats for you and the scores from around 4A right here on 1480 KRAE. 8-7 is our halftime score. East Thunderbirds with the lead. Let's take you through the East stats. Graydon Buell having himself a very good first half. 5 of 7 passing, 74 yards. He's also added 4 carries for 53 yards as well. So well over 130 yards of offense for the sophomore quarterback that is transferred from Rock Springs. Riley Cooper, before he went down, had 8 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. It was Jaden Eifert, who had come in for him in that drive, had 4 carries, 25 yards. He added a touchdown. Dakota Merritt, 2 carries, 21 yards. He also has a reception and 12 yards. Robert Luckow with a catch and 22 yards. Valero a catch, 9 yards. He also fumbled on that catch. Chance Allmiller, 1 catch, 22 yards. Ox Schroeder, 1 catch and 9 yards. For Buell, 5 completions to 5 different receivers. Let's take a quick look now at our scores. We'll toss it over to Nick Peretti, who has Mountain West as well as other 4A scores from around the region.
Well, let's start with Class 4A with number 1 Sheridan at home hosting Cheyenne Central. Sheridan leading right now in the third quarter, 40-0 up there. So unfortunately, at least on the opening return, Parkin Christensen for Sheridan returns a 92 kickoff to get an early score in that one. But again, 40-0 in the third quarter. Sheridan leading Cheyenne Central. Number 2, Natrona is leading Campbell County in the first quarter right now, 7-0. Number 4, Thunder Basin is handling very mightily the Cheyenne South Fighting Bison over at Fighting Bison Stadium, 24-0. That is in the third quarter. And out in Laramie, Laramie right now is leading Rock Springs 21-6. Mountain West scores currently underway here on Friday. Out in at least East Lansing, Michigan, number 11 Michigan State Spartans are barely hanging on, but they are leading by 3 points, 27-24. 1 minute left in the third quarter out there. Number 13 Stanford is hosting San Diego State. It is scoreless right now, 6 minutes left in the first quarter. And then in Reno, Nevada, the Wolfpack, they are trailing Portland State just only by a touchdown, but Portland State does lead 7-0. 8 minutes left in the first quarter there. We have 4:45 left. We'll send it back to the 1480 KRAE studios and take a 2-minute break and be back with more of the halftime show right here on 1480 KRAE.
Gorgeous evening. Cloud cover starting to blow away, going south. Look, the flags are completely limp here. So, again, we're looking forward to some great second-half football action coming up. Thunderbirds lead 14-7. Speaking of this contest between East and Casper Kelly Walsh, we will be in the Oil City next Friday. Nick Proetti, who's doing a great job on our social side, he will be joining me Mike's side at times, as he will be doing some color commentating. We will be at Harry Gildine Stadium, Casper Kelly Walsh, South High Fighting Bison. So we'll have a chance right out of the first 3 weeks to get a look at all three of our local teams who are seeing, unfortunately for Cheyenne Central, right now they have yet to score. They've given up 87 points. They're 0-87. We saw the one score in Natrona over Campbell County. They've given up 66 without scoring. South has yet to score. They gave up 59 against Natrona, and they're down 24-0, if I recall, against Thunder Basin. So they've given up 83 points. You know, it's like we hate to say, hey, when South plays Central, something's got to give. I mean, you know, or when Campbell County plays Central, something's got to give. But, you know, Coach Apodaca's got his work cut out for him. Coach Gauss has got his work cut out for him right now. Again, a young team with South, and for Cheyenne Central, it's a mixture of youth along with some veterans, but it's a brand new system. And they're right now having a hard time getting that system down, at least through the first 6 quarters of this season.
Yeah, it's tough because, again, you don't get a warm-up. You don't get a non-conference game. You come in and you're playing conference right from the get-go. And for Central, I'm sure if you ask Coach Apodaca, he would love to have a non-conference, go out and play like a 2A team or a 3A team and try to get...
Or even go down south and play somebody in Colorado. Right, unfortunately, you might get your teeth kicked in, but you're right. There's no mulligans anymore. It's Class 4A, boom, you know, from the get-go. So for the Indians and for South, they're having a tough go here in the first couple of games of the season. Cheyenne East right now looking to improve to be 2-0 here with their first opener at Oakey Blanchard Stadium here at the, again, we're in the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex, so looking for the victory over Casper Kelly Walsh. But like we said in the get-go, that this was going to be a game that who may have the ball last might be the winner of tonight's contest. So again, 14-7, we're just about ready to get things underway for the second half. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We will be right back after these words on 1480 KRAE. All right, the question is, how good are we at ad-libbing? They just threw up another 3 minutes on the scoreboard. Well, they at least kicked off at 6 o'clock for that. I gotta give the guy in the white hat credit. He worked with me tonight, but they tack on an extra 3 minutes. That's a 23-minute halftime.
Well, I guess now we should just plan on 23-minute halftimes from here on out, because again, they do. I was out early too.
I had more friends I could have said hello to. I said, hey, I got to get back up here. We're getting ready to go for the second half. So anyway, the East Side Thunderbirds, as well as the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, are back on the field. East tonight, again, in their home black uniforms, they got the powder blue numerals, the white outline. They got the white helmet, of course, with the CE on the side. Across the way, Casper Kelly Walsh, they're in their travel white uniforms with their Kelly green numerals. I always used to like, and I say this all the time and people get sick of hearing it, but I used to love when Monty Moore was alive for the Oakland A's, when he would always say, here's the Oakland A's. They're Kelly green and gold and polar bear white and Vita blue.
Yeah, but so the high school I went to, Thunder Ridge down in Highlands Ranch, they're Kelly green and blue. So Kelly green seems to be the favorite color of green used for uniforms.
See, we were black and orange. We were the Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Black and orange, man. We had that Casper Natrona look. Yeah, we had the Giants look. Yeah,
like definitely. The Oakland, like Halloween look.
Yeah, we didn't have the. Oh yeah, you know they did come out with the pumpkin uniforms after I graduated, but we had black uniforms for home, and we had the white the old mesh uniforms. Right? And I tell you what, after a night of playing, and especially in California when it was warm, whew, man, I'll tell you what, those are fun to take off, those old mesh uniforms. Hey, we're about ready to get things underway. The East kickoff team is on the field. Dakota Merritt talking to one of the officials right now as he's teeing the ball up at the 40-yard line. Wind started again. I don't want to call it a wind, I call it a breeze, because that's basically what it's been, about a 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze and nothing more than that.
Well, the flags out there at half staff, they're blowing stiff. But if you look at the top of the field goal post, which really matters, they're not blowing quite as hard as you can when you see the flags on this other side.
And again, the flags at half staff in honor of the memory of U.S. Senator John McCain. As the T-Birds are ready to get things underway. Second half, McAdam along with Whitley back deep as Merritt will boot it away. High, end over end, and McAdam will let it go into the end zone about 5 yards deep. So now again, here's the deal. East deciding to go with the wind here in the third quarter. Interesting.
Well, what's funny too is that time that one definitely got into the end zone, whereas before where Whitley caught it kind of in between, there was no question on that one. So Casper Kelly Walsh will come out with the ball on the 20-yard line.
That's right. They will operate from their own 20 again. Matt Hayes is your quarterback. He will be underneath center. The lone back of the backfield is Spiegelberg. Whitley to the near side. They're going left to right across your radio dial, that being the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Pitch it back to Spiegelberg. Chucks off one tackler and then is dumped at the 25-yard line. Nice job on the tackle by Michaeli. Michaeli hit him on the hip and brought him down. Again, you think of these kind of running backs, I always think of Franco Harris, the great one from Pittsburgh. You could never arm tackle these guys. You had to hit them from the hip down to bring these guys down.
Well, Oswald did a good job getting by the defensive end for Cheyenne East, getting around the tackle, but then he, again, like you said, he tried to arm tackle Spiegelberg, and Spiegelberg just swatted away his hand with one arm, and instead of a loss on the play, it's +5.
He's got more upper body strength than we're giving him credit, that's for sure. Spiegelberg on the carry, 25, and bulls his way to the 30, and then driven back. 32, maybe 31-yard line. We'll see where the official spot will be. Looks like the 31. So a fresh set of downs for the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, doing it first couple of plays on the ground as we're just underway, quarter number 3.
Hayes had a lot of success in that first half with passing. We said one thing is you want Hayes to beat you. Well, right now, Casper Kelly Walsh is in this game because of Hayes' arm, as even though Spiegelberg has done a great job matriculating the ball down the field, it's been Hayes that's been able to finish a drive.
And again, too, that nice pass play they had to Coventry for the touchdown, that caught Cheyenne East off guard. First down and 10, fresh set of downs. Offset eye behind Hayes, and he'll fake the pitch back. Back to pass, steps, throws, and can't connect with McAdam. As the pass will be incomplete. Try to catch up with him around the 47-yard line, probably about 2-3 yards out of his outstretched hands.
A little bit too much on a line there for Hayes. He needed to get a little bit more air on that, as McAdam had some room, but there was 3 East players right around him. If he's able to get a little bit of air under that and let McAdam run under it, that's a good sizable gain there on that play action.
It's second down and 10 with the ball right now resting at the KW 31-yard line. Coventry in the lineup. He will split out on top along with Whitley. This time they'll pitch it back. Spiegelberg on the left side, turns it up, 40-yard line, still on his feet, and down to the 47-yard line of the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, maybe the 48. So give him about 17 on that carry. Again, 275 yards last week, and approaching the 100-yard mark, the century mark here against Cheyenne East. East, who gave up 0 yards total defense last week.
Yeah, he's up to 113 or 123 right now after that big 17-yard gain.
So Spiegelberg, again, his second game this season over the century mark, and he still has more yards probably to tack on before the night is over. First down and 10, ball at the 47-yard line. Wilson comes in motion. left to right. On the counter, they give it off to Wilson. Wilson over the 50-yard line, down to the 49. Give him 3 on the play. Tried a little misdirection. East did not bite.
Well, and Alexander with the initial contact for East, and unfortunately couldn't drive him back. They drove him forward, so he was hit right at the line of scrimmage, but Wilson falling forward for almost close to 4.
Yeah, Wilson, he's a 6-footer, 200-pounder. He's a senior, he's been through the war, so he knows what to do, and again, he knows his role. And again, gives him, the 3 yards needed, more like 3.5. Second down, and we'll call it a short 7. Hayes over center. Straight ahead to Spiegelberg. He's bottled up and dropped. Maybe to the 48-yard line. Maybe that half yard we were wondering about. And that's where they're going to give him, to the 48-yard line of Cheyenne East.
I'm trying to see who was the one that, Zach Alexander, he put a stick right in the midsection of Spiegelberg. Right, and that's where you need to hit Spiegelberg, is right in the midsection. Alexander with a great form tackle there.
Third down, and we'll call it 6 for the Trojans. They need to get to the East 42-yard line. Ball right now on the T-Bird 48. Hayes over center. Back to pass. Rolls to his right. Still rolling. Gets away from one time. Down he goes as he's tripped up. And the ball is down the ground as it comes squirting free down at his 47-yard line. So that's a big sack for Cheyenne East.
Landon Eldridge doing a good job on the pursuit. One thing I didn't about the play call, I never like rolling to the short side, especially when Hayes has done a good job in the pocket. Keep him in the pocket. Since he was rolling out this way, he didn't give enough time for his receivers to really get into any type of position. And because of that, Eldridge is able to pick up really a coverage-type sack.
Davis to boot it away. A lot better punt this time, as it will take a KW bounce, and it will pin the Thunderbirds back to the 4-yard line, just shy of the 5.
43-yard punt, a lot better than, was it 14 the first time?
Yeah, and the thing, too, on that one, that was probably about a 25-yarder and took about a 19-yard bounce. So, again, the turf this time worked out very well for Davis.
Well, it looked like Davis, too, had to pick it off the ground as well, so good job staying controlled and still getting a good kickoff. But what East needed to do coming out of the break was coming up with that stop, and it's a big one there for the defense, and now it's on their offense to really add on to this lead.
Buell along with Eifert, as Cooper has yet to return, suffering either the ankle or calf injury. We haven't got any word on his status. In motion is Merritt. Hand off to Eifert. Eifert goes straight ahead.
A flag
and
from that
flag comes from the side. Eifert to the 20.
Jaden Eifert with the carry for the Thunderbirds.
I would assume for where he was, it had to have been a face mask, a big penalty.
And again, the ball was spotted on the 18-yard line, so evidently was touched by a Casper Kelly Walsh Trojan. That's why the ball is on the 18, so let's clarify that. We thought nobody touched it, and it was down at the 4, so it hit off a KW punt team specialist. On the penalty now, Cheyenne East gets a big break. Move the football up to the 35-yard line, so operating in great field position, first down and 10.
7 penalties, 70 yards now for Casper Kelly Walsh after that 15-yard face mask.
Miller on top, Michaeli, and Lukow with the football. Lukow in motion down the sidelines. He'll have another first down, close to the first down on the far side at the 44-yard line. That's where they'll say he stepped out, about a half-yard short.
And we've seen Dakota Merritt with that jet sweep this time as Lukow, and he gets into the outside. Great job there by the right tackle for Cheyenne East to really allow Lukow to bust containment.
So for the T-Birds, you can do a lot of things here. Second down and very short. 7:45 to go here in the third period. Merritt along with Miller and Merritt to the near side. Trips to the near side on a second down and very short. And Buell will call his own number. He'll have the first down. He plunges to the 46-yard line. And it'll be first down and 10 for the T-Birds. A couple yards on the run.
Right now for Cheyenne East, as far as the offense goes, you just kind of want to keep moving the chains.
And keep the clock running.
Right, keep the clock running, but what you're doing at this point is Connor Shop has not sat out a single play. He's not only their starting right tackle, he's a big plow for Spiegelberg, and he's playing defensive tackle as well. So keep him on the field on the defensive side as much as possible.
Ball resting right down on the T-Bird 46-yard line. First down and 10. Eifert in the backfield. Buell will send in motion Lukau, that is, I should say. And it'll go to Eifert. Eifert just goes straight ahead for 3 to the 49. And it's second down and 7.
Eifert has done a good job coming in and really not doing a lot of dancing in the backfield, just finding a lane and going straight for it.
He's hiding. That's the word, behind the big guys. And then again, the big tackle's got to come and try to, fish him out and then bring him down. So right now, Eifert is doing his job and getting little chunks of yardage for Cheyenne East. Second down is 7. Buell out of the gun. Back to pass. He'll tuck it and take it into KW territory, down to the 38-yard line. First down and 10. For the T-Birds on the 13-yard run. We'll give them 12. They'll say the 39.
Buell's doing a great job right now, both racking up yards through the air and on the ground. That's one of the rare times where he didn't show as much patience in the pocket. He saw a big old lane and took off with it and able to get a big play on the ground.
Again, Chad Goff gives him the option. So again, it's you want to throw it or do you want to tuck it and run? And again, like you said, he saw a big lane. Off to the races he was. Buell, Eifert off tackle, still on his feet and down to the 31-yard line.
You just see the Cheyenne East front 5 just licking their chops at this point, really beating up the front 4 as Eifert was able to get to the second level untouched for a big gain of 8.
So down to the 32-yard line. They got to get just inside the 30 for a first down. We're under 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and again, a very time-consuming drive by the T-Birds. Very methodical.
And for Coach Goff, this third quarter couldn't start off any better. Get the 3 and out, and now your offense is going to work.
They'll give it off to Merritt. There's a flag, and that's going to come back. When that flag comes around, you usually will get tapped for holding. The flag was dropped around the 30-yard line. Merritt had more than enough of the first down. Holding is the indication against Cheyenne East. The flag thrown at the 28.
Looked like Christian Arambola on that right side. It may have been now him twice where he's trying to fight that defensive end inside so they can break the containment, and may have gotten away or may have gotten called there that time for trying to hold him.
Got his hand caught in the cookie jar that time. So it is second down and 9 for the T-Birds. Ball march back to the 38-yard line of the Trojans.
Seen now a penalty once already stall a drive for Cheyenne East. They need to fight through it here and put more points on the board and get some more space between them and Casper Kelly Walsh.
Miller out on top. Lukau in motion. Low snap. Buell tucks it away. Now steps, throws, and got a man. That'll be enough for the first down. Nice job that time by Buell. It looked like he was going to take off and go to the races. Then he stepped up and fired and hits Miller. So Miller will have the first down, take it down to the 27-yard line on that pass play that covers 11 yards.
Great job by Buell. Last time he tucked it and he took off and nobody went after him. This time he tucked it, saw people coming towards him, and then threw a strike.
And he also froze the linebackers again, too. First down and 10, ball right now at the 27. Hand off to Eifert. Eifert, 25-yard line, still on his feet, spins down to the 24. 3 on the play, second down and 7. 14-7 our score, 4:50 mark on the Pepsi scoreboard, winding down.
The defensive ends for Casper Kelly Walsh are just shooting up the field right now and really not helping the defensive tackles or the linebackers for that standpoint on those inside runs that Cheyenne East has been able to really pop off 3, 4, 5 yards, and then we've seen a couple of times a couple double-digit runs by the running backs.
Hold everything out a whistle. And Cheyenne East wants to call a timeout offensively. 4:21 remaining here in period number 3. East 14. Casper, Kelly Walsh 7 back after this 30-second timeout of 1480 KRAE. Joining us tonight, whether you're on the radio side, you're streaming this worldwide on the web, or you are at 1480 KRAE on YouTube, we do appreciate you joining us. One of the features that I see on our YouTube channel that Nick Proetti put together, yes, the clock you see is the clock that we have on the scoreboard right now. So again, it's keeping you updated time-wise of what's left in the quarter.
Official time, really, for the most part.
Second down.
Campbell County 0.
As you just heard, Campbell County getting clobbered by Natrona now, 35-0. Back to pass. Buell, it's low, but it's grabbed by Miller. Miller will make the grab at the 21-yard line. It's a very short gain of maybe a yard or two. So for Cheyenne East, it's third down. Need to get down to the 17-yard line, 3rd and 4.
Laramie 21.
Yeah, Buell not able to really get his feet under him on that one. Kind of just sent a flick out to Miller. Miller did a good job to at least get something out of the play. But 3rd and short, your Coach Goff will take that all day.
3rd down and 4 for the T-Birds. Hash mark to the near side. In motion is Merritt. Snap is back. Buell will call his own number. Not this time. As McAdam. And then we're going to get a face mask. An inadvertent face mask. That'll be 5 yards, so McAdam will drop. Buell back to the 27-yard line. Again, this is not a flagrant face mask. I would hope not, from what I saw.
Well, you can tell they bring a fire blitz. Casper, Kelly Walsh did that time, and it was a great play call. Just unfortunate for Casper, Kelly Walsh. They weren't able to finish the play as they'll get a 5-yard face mask and reset the down.
Basically, we're going to do the play all over again at the 21-yard line. So 3rd down and 4 once again for the T-Birds. Like I said, nice job at McAdam as he busted through, and then I think it was Whitley on the inadvertent face mask. Miller will split out on top. Michael I, along with Lukow, to the near side. Now in motion is Lukow. He'll flank to the left side. They'll hand it off to Eifert. Eifert skips away from one tackler down to the 18-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about a yard. So the question is, Merritt should have enough leg with a little breeze right now.
But here comes Alexander and Valeria. They're going for it here.
And Bastian Hansen.
So Hansen also will come in. And Eifert will come back into the lineup too as well for Cheyenne. So yes, they will go for it on 4th down. We approach 3 minutes on the Pepsi scoreboard. 4th down is short. Over center is Buell. Buell will set it up. Hand it off to the first back through is Eifert. Did he get it? He's driven back. I don't know where his forward progress is. East says they have it. The official stands at the 18.
They didn't get it.
They did not get it. Casper, Kelly Walsh on a defensive stand.
That's a huge turnover on downs. Now both teams have had turnover on downs. Once again, another penalty kind of stalling Cheyenne East there as they were just moving down the field. It looked like Eifert initially was going to get it because you can see the side judge. He was on the other side of the change, and then all of a sudden he just got stuck, I think, by Spiegelberg for the it wasn't a loss on the play.
No, it was actually no gainer. So 1st down and 10 for Casper, Kelly Walsh. They will take over the football on their own 18-yard line. Hayes over center, the lone back in the backfield is Spiegelberg. Back to pass goes Hayes. He steps, he throws, he's got a man. That's Whitley across the way. As Whitley will be driven down at the 25-yard line. So give him a gain of 7 yards on the play. Well, actually, they're going to say he's down to 24, so give him 6. Second down and 4 from their own 24-yard line.
If you're going to pass on first down, if you're Coach Vance, you want to take advantage of them playing so far back. And for East, they have to play back because Hayes has shown the ability to throw the deep ball.
Hayes on a 2nd down and 4, sizing up the defense. And we'll give it off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg off tackle and trying to drive forward for the first down, be short by a yard, maybe 2. They'll say 27-yard line. Needs to get in between the 28 and 29 for the first down. So about a yard and a half away. $1:40 to go here in the period.
Looks like they're going to measure at this point. You were saying they need to get between the 28 and 29. That looks like they're pretty close. It's a tough angle for us as it's off to the left side of us, but the extra effort by Spiegelberg may have gotten him a first down.
I'm going to say he's short. Well, the nose of the football says he's there. How come how did you give me a close-up on that one there?
Another first down.
I needed a close-up on that one there, Nick.
You should have used both pair of
yeah, I need the glasses as well as the field glasses. I missed it by that much. First down at 10. Ball on the 28-yard line of K-Dub.
Again, another big drive here for Casper. Kelly Walsh. East is, for the most part, has done a good job bottling the Trojans, especially with that high-powered run game.
You know, Spiegelberg over the century mark, but again, nothing really of big busting natures. Back to pass, rolling to his right is Hayes, throws one up, and it's incomplete. This time he was trying to hook up again with, this time, Davis. Same pass play that you didn't like the last time, came back with it again, and again, misled him by about at least 6 yards.
Well, Landon Eldridge did a good job rushing Hayes on the throw, and once again, he rolls out to the right. Eldridge, kind of on a spy, saw him with the after the play action, just jetted right towards Hayes, forced him to the right side to where he wasn't able to get his feet under him to make a great pass.
2nd down and 10 with about 72 seconds to go here in the period. Hayes over center, and we'll hand off to Spiegelberg. Off tackle left side, still driving, and he'll punch his way forward to the 37-yard line. Short of the first down by a yard. 3rd down and 1.
Well, at that time, Alexander tried to tackle Spiegelberg up on the shoulders. Forget about that one, as you're not going to get your arms around him to bring him down. After that hit, he was able to get Tech on a few more. Nice. They're going to say a gain of 9 on that one.
So for Spielberg, he keeps adding up the yards. Casper Kelly Walsh continues to drive. 3rd down and 1. Spielberg, first down and more. Takes it over the 40-yard line, or what? Again, I have the one official here from the side. He marks it one way, and then the other official moves it up about a half yard more. So it's at the 41. The one official, as he backs off, and you can see that on your screen, he's standing on the 40-yard line.
On the stop for the T-Birds.
He's getting overturned a little bit by the judge on the other side.
Yeah, it's like, hey, hang on here, pal. My eyes are a little bit better. This might be the last play of the period unless they throw it incomplete. First down and 10. Ball right now on the 41-yard line. East bunching up defensively inside. Pitch it back to Spiegel. They'll go outside with it. And he tries to turn it up the far side. Dropped at the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 6.
A couple of backers there for Cheyenne East, just shooting too quick up the field, not really keeping containment. Spiegelberg able to get around them and get a good-sized gain on first down.
3 in the books. East 14, KW 7. The final 12 minutes after the 60-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. The fourth quarter, it's second down and short. Back to pass goes Hayes, looking long, got a man. He can't hook up with Whitley. Whitley had a couple of yards that time on Schroeder and threw it long and incomplete. Not a bad pass play.
It was a good play. Again, Hayes trying to throw it too much on a line. If he puts any type of air under it and allows Whitley to run under it, that's an easy touchdown. As you said, Whitley completely burned Schroeder.
So it's now third down. Spot the ball at the 46-yard line. Needing to get to the East 49. So third down, and we're going to say 5 for the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans on the opening play of the fourth quarter, going for it all, trying to get the equalizer. Split out on top will be Simmons along with Whitley. Hayes pitches it back. Spiegelberg, as he will be well short of the first down. He's tripped up, I think, right at the line of scrimmage.
Landon Eldridge again coming in and making the play, tackling him where? Below the waist, and that's how you got to get him down. Eldridge had a big game in the first in week 0, 6 tackles, 4 of them for loss, and he's got a couple more tackles for losses here tonight.
Davis in to boot it away. John Vance not wanting to give East too good a field position. Snap is back. The kick is an end-over-ender, and it's muffed and then picked up by Lukau. 5, 10, 15, 20. 25-yard line driven, and a late flag will come. That'll be against Cheyenne East, obviously, for, as they will say, hit below the waist. Or they'll call it a hold.
If it's anywhere near where the official threw the flag, it's going to be close, be marked off close to that 15-yard line.
So if it's at the 15, they'll go back to the 7.5-yard line, and it'll be first down and 10 for the T-Birds. Nice return by Lukau.
Definitely recovering from the muff as well.
Right now there's 4 ones on the scoreboard, 11-11 to go, as we're just underway in period number 4. East leading, clinging to a 14-7 lead.
And now this is the worst field position they've had
in a while, yeah.
Well, and the worst they had it was at the 20, and that was back on a punt. Here, they're back up against the wall at the 7. So looks like we have a new running back in the backfield as well for Cheyenne East.
Yeah, for Cheyenne East.
Christian Anderson.
So Christian Anderson, the junior, will make his first appearance. He is a junior, 5'9", 160 pounds. Buell will bark out the signals. In motion is Merritt. Handed off to Anderson. Anderson straight ahead. Still on his feet as he drives to the 16-yard line.
How about that for Coach Goff? Go with some fresh legs. Give Anderson his first run, and he just carries runners for 8 yards.
So for the T-Birds, that was a huge run.
On the tackle, Kevin Anderson.
And with the Thunderbirds now, a little breathing room outside of their own end zone. Second down and short. About 1.5 yards short. Nice run by Anderson. Buell out of the gun. Hands it off to Anderson again. Anderson straight ahead, puts his head down. Should have the first down to the 18.
Running the ball.
And Anderson that time is, again, just getting lower than the defense. And it's Anderton.
Anderton, that is. So
I thought it was a typo for a second, so that's my fault there.
So for Christian Anderton, he will take it up to the 18, they'll say 19-yard line. First down and 10 for Cheyenne East. And again, the Thunderbirds, this would be something they want right now. They want to run and run clock.
And with the way Graydon Buell has been, he's not too many incomplete passes, and he's been smart enough to tuck it and run, too.
This time, give it off to Anderton. Anderton trying to sweep to the left side, maybe to the 20-yard line, and a yard, possibly 2. So we'll give him a yard on the play at the 20. Shuffling the plays are Merritt and Lukau for Cheyenne East.
Love to see a play action here. Try to see if you can catch Casper Kelly Walsh a little too with their ears pinned back a little too much.
Miller to the near side. In the gun Buell rolls to his left. Pump fakes, now rolls back to the right side, dumps it, and it'll be incomplete. It won't be intentional grounding because there was somebody close to the football, and that'd be Aaron Buell.
Yeah, good job there by Buell. Tried to get outside the containment there, and on that rush, it was number 88, Seth White, on that defensive end. But a good job just getting it close enough to where it wasn't a grounding call, because that's the last thing you want right there is -5 and then lose it down.
Third down for the T-Birds. Again, deep in their territory on the 20-yard line. Again, trying to not make any mistakes here. Buell lines them up. Third down and 9. Long count, back to pass. Under a heavy rush, gets away from the first wave. Steps, throws, and the pass is knocked down by McAdam. Nice job by McAdam. He was trying to hook up. Coming across the field was Michaeli, and it'll be incomplete. Fourth down, something that's been rare for the T-Birds tonight. They're going to punt it.
First punt, I believe, for them, as well as Connor Shop with the good pursuit on Buell, as well with McAdam there, making sure he couldn't run it for the first down. And yeah, I believe it is the first punt for the T-Birds today.
McAdam will drop back near midfield. Merritt will boot it away. A little bit of a breeze in his face. And really, if you think about it, KW could come away with good field position. Thunderbirds setting up the punting unit. Merritt, high snap, and hits it off the side of his foot. That's what happens with the rugby-style kick. It works sometimes, and sometimes it don't, and that one was a complete failure.
Well, Merritt was trying to give his gunners a chance to get down there with McAdam only at the 50-yard line. The last thing you want to do is kick a line drive punt right at him, because then you will give him good field position. But I'll tell you what, we've seen now both punters for Cheyenne East and for Casper, Kelly Walsh, have a little bit of issues, especially with their first punt.
Well, and again, this is like tomorrow, too, with the Cowboys. When we watched them against Oregon, they gave the Ducks too many short fields. You can't give these good teams a short field. This one makes me a little nervous right now with KW sitting at the T-Bird 33-yard line. Wilson along with Spiegelberg in the backfield. First down at 10. Great field position. They'll hand it up to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg, big hole, still on his feet. Inside the 20-yard line, down to the 19. That's a 15-yard gainer.
How about Spiegelberg at the end of that run, using his body as a weapon, just launching himself forward with defenders at his ankles. That's just great effort at the end of the run there by Spiegelberg, a guy that had 1,400 yards rushing last year. He's going to be well on his way to that.
Well, he's got to be at least 1.5 right now. 150 yards rushing for tonight. Back to Spiegelberg again. Spiegelberg to the 15, spin around, and drives forward down to the 14. 5 more yards for Spiegelberg. With 8:40 on the Pepsi scoreboard, and they're going to say it's back at the 15-yard line, just inside the 15. So we're going to say it's second down and 5. Coventry will come in with the play from John Vance as the KW Trojans on the march inside the red zone.
It's now up to 170. Is Spiegelberg on the ground?
Spiegelberg tripped up and dropped. Nice job that time by the East defense, down to the 13-yard line.
Eldridge may have just saved a touchdown, too. There wasn't a lot of people outside as far as that one goes.
That was a great stop on the far side. 1-yard gainer, third down and 4, with the ball now at the 14. If he would have got past Eldridge, that could have been an easy 6.
And that could have been that one rushing attempt that Spiegelberg's been looking for, that one that breaks him free for a touchdown.
Third down, 4 yards to go. Hayes to Spiegelberg. He'll be short of the first down. It's fourth down. not so much of a decision time, what play, and quickly, Casper Kelly Walsh says we need to talk about it. 7:30 to go here in the contest. East 14, Casper Kelly Walsh 7. We're back after the timeout and a 30-second timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Along with Chris Polton, Nick Proetti, we are here at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Situation for John Vance's KW Trojans. 4th down, 2, ball on the 12, need to get inside the 10 for the first down.
We said it at the break. Spiegelberg's has a lot of yards, but he's been getting them in between the 30-25-yard line. Every time they get inside the red zone, East has really done a great job clamping down, and now for a second time, they have a chance to get them turnover and downs in the red zone.
There they go out of the pistol with Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg outside, breaks a tackle to the 5. He's in. Touchdown. They almost had him at the line of scrimmage, and unfortunately, they could not get him wrapped up. And again, you can't wrap him up on top. So Spiegelberg takes the distance for the touchdown.
There was 2 East players that not only had a chance to tackle him, but had a chance to tackle him behind the first down marker, and that was 100% Spiegelberg there as he just willed himself into the end zone, and now they're an extra point away from tying the game.
Davis for the PAT out of the Whitley hold. Kick is up, and it is good. We're tied. 14-14, 7:25 to go. Casper Kelly Walsh East at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Not up to 14. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. Point, Chris. Depending on this ensuing kickoff, maybe the Thunderbirds will have a chance to open up the playbook a little bit to at least jump back out on top. But again, like I said before, I go back to the beginning statement. I said, whoever has the ball last is going to win this thing.
Well, if we go into overtime, that'll be true as well. And that last drive for East, when they stalled it, they were running the ball a lot. They didn't try to pass until 3rd down, and it was 3rd down and long. They'll hopefully be able to open the playbook here now as they need a touchdown to retake the lead.
Picked up by Lucal at the 10 to the 20. 25-yard line, spun around down to the 27-yard line. And Cheyenne East will operate with 73 yards of real estate to go and a lot of time left.
Look out. Grabbed that one. It was a line drive, well, kind of a squib kick. Stopped it with his hand before it would go in the end zone. Stopped it, kept it in front of him, almost like an infielder keeping the ball in front. Picked it up and it was able to get a good return. Fairly good field position here for Cheyenne East.
Eifert back in the backfield. Again, operating out of the gun is Buell. 1st down at 10. Ball at the 27-yard line. Merritt in motion. Sets, and they'll give it off to Eifert. Eifert, very short gain, maybe scored it up to the 29-yard line.
Well, it looks like Casper Kelly Walsh has done a good job making an adjustment for Eifert, as now that's 3 carries in a row where they've been able to stop the little speedy back for a minimal gain.
1 yard, actually, to the 28. So 2nd down and 9. East fans getting a little edgy here with this game knotted up to 14. But we all felt that this was going to be a tight contest, and this was dubbed the game of the week. Buell Back to pass, rolls to his left. Pressure breaks down. Steps, throws, got a man. Incomplete, through behind his receiver, trying to hook up.
Well, now the
I do
pressure,
believe that was with Lugau.
pressure's starting to get on Buell a little bit as he threw it behind him. Davis had a better chance for the Trojans to make a play on the pass. And one of the things I was wondering is, would they try to Anderton a little bit? We saw him do some tough running. He hasn't been out here in this possession thus far, though.
And I'm also surprised, too, that Buell's not calling his own number, not doing the belly as often. Third down for the T-Birds. They got a long way to go, 9 yards.
Got 8 in the box for Kelly Walsh.
Trips out on top. Buell back to pass. Steps, throws, got a man, and lost it over the head of Merritt. Incomplete. It'll be fourth down.
It's now 4 incompletions in a row for Graydon Buell, and since this second half has started, he's just 2 for 6 for only 13 yards.
So for Casper, Kelly Walsh, they'll send back McAdam. He'll retreat back to his 42-yard line. Merritt will boot it away. Ball on the hash mark to the near side. East going left to right across your radio dial.
The Trojans were in a 14-14 tie at home against Laramie, where they were able to add 13 points in that fourth quarter. So it's something Kelly Walsh has already experienced this year. We'll see if that helps them.
This time a nice boot by Merritt. He got a big foot into that. Now we'll see where the official will. He'll go where the ball went out of bounds. Now he'll walk it up. Kind of like punt, pass, and kick. Well, won't penalize him too much. He'll say he kicked it out at the 32-yard line. It's only about 5 yards he moved up.
My favorite thing about that, you remember Price is Right? They have that cliffhanger game.
Right.
It looked like the official on the sideline there. Unfortunately, he went a little too far. Still a much better punt there by Merritt. You always like it when you can get that spiral because you're going to get the distance. Unfortunately for him, just maybe come off the foot a little bit more to the right than he wanted to. But now Casper Kelly Walsh will have a little bit more to do on this.
And I'm glad they got rid of that. I don't like those rugby kicks.
Yeah.
They're just, they seem to be more disastrous than anything.
We saw Nico Vite do that a couple of times, and some of his punts barely got about 10 feet off the ground.
Hayes brings him up to the line of scrimmage. First down at 10, ball on their own 32-yard line, and a dose of Brock Spiegelberg straight ahead. Flag comes in late. That will be against the Trojans. Usually when that flag comes in, that's holding.
Flag on the play.
Ball to the 34-yard line, and the indication is holding against K-Dub.
And that's going to be right at the line of scrimmage as well. So another penalty. That's now 9 penalties for Casper Kelly Walsh. They're approaching 100 yards just in penalties.
Ball marched back to the 22. They'll reload the down at first down, and you know Coach Chad Goff will say, yeah, we'll take the penalty.
Right.
He got 2 yards on the gain, and they said, no, we'll take the penalty. Stick a fork in that.
Watch for the Trojans here. We've seen him a couple of times go on that quick slant. I wouldn't be shocked to see it here on first down.
And Covertree's back in. He's at 6'4" frame, so that also we'll see where he lines up. He's on the near side. Whitley is out on top. Hayes over center. Back to pass. Straight drop back. Has time. Steps, throws into a crowd. Is it picked off? Nobody can. Incomplete.
Alexander is the one that, or Luckow was the one that had it initially. It looked like from up here he had intercepted it, but a good job there by both the safety Miller and Luckow to really converge on Whitley, trying to go as Hayes tried to hit him on that slant.
And it was amazing too. He threw into a lot of East jerseys. That one really, if Hayes made a bad mistake tonight throwing the football, that was it. Well, and he almost cost him that one.
Well, he just eyeballed him the whole way. His eyes never left Whitley. It's the same thing that we saw at the end of the half when he tried to hit McAdam. His eyes never left McAdam.
Davis now out on top. Back to pass goes Hayes. Hayes under a heavy rush. Dumps it over the head of Spiegelberg. Incomplete. And I mean, he was under a heavy rush.
It was kind of weird that the two D tackles for East got through pretty easily. It looked like they were almost trying to set up for a screen, and maybe the pressure got on Hayes a little bit quicker than he imagined or thought, because he tried to lob it over everybody to Spiegelberg. Unfortunately for him, he also lobbed it over Spiegelberg's outreach as well.
Garrett Oswald for Cheyenne East got in on him, and I mean, he had nowhere to go but dump it off.
It's a big play here for Cheyenne East.
Third down, ball on the 22-yard line. They'll say the 23 at Casper Kelly Walsh. Third down at 20. Hayes over center. He's going back to pass. Has time, steps, throws, looking down, he's got a man. Is it caught? McAdam. They have signaled that he made the grab at the 48-yard line.
What a dime thrown by Hayes. That had a few different defensive backs right there running down the lane with McAdam. A great catch by McAdam, maybe a better pass by Hayes.
Chad Goff not happy with that call.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, concessions pizza is only 4.
So with that, it's first down at 10 for Casper Kelly Walsh. The ball on the East 48-yard line. A lot of time left, 5:40 to go. Hayes now will give it off to Spiegelberg. Wrapped up immediately and dropped.
Great tackle right there by Luis Carlos, wrapping up Spiegelberg right at the line of scrimmage. And good job by Cheyenne East to really get over that 29-yard pass play on 3rd and long and to stop Spiegelberg in his tracks.
So for the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans, second down, 9. Coventry will bring the play in. Hands it off over to Hayes. Hayes will relay it to the huddle. They'll break the huddle. Coventry to the near side, out on top. It's Whitley. Second down and 9. Back to pass goes Hayes. Under a blitz, gets the pass off. Caught by McAdam, driven out of bounds. Don't know where the spot will be.
Hayes' pass complete to Damian McAdam.
I don't think it's a first down.
By number 4, Chance Allmiller.
It'll be third down as Allmiller drives him out at the 39 across the way.
That's McAdam again getting open on that out play, and for the second, or now the fourth time, that's now his 4th catch for McAdam. Is he's starting to find some seams in that, or some open spots in that zone defense. Another big third down here for the Trojans.
Wilson along with Spiegelberg in the backfield, offset eye. Hayes will call his own number, first down, as he takes it down to the East 37-yard line.
The ball for the Trojans, Matt Hayes.
Wow, for the Shiny Thunderbirds, you think back, they had him third down and long, and then they cough up that big pass play. Now, kind of biting fingernails time for the T-Birds.
Well, if you look at big plays, they say, you know, if you can have more big plays than the other team, your chances of winning are pretty good. You've seen Casper Kelly Walsh now with 3 big plays, whereas Cheyenne East has only had 2.
First down at 10, hand up to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg, 30-yard line, breaks a tackle. Does it 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Oh, what a great run there by Spiegelberg.
In the end zone for the Trojans, Brock Spiegelberg.
Well, had just said how the big plays were hurting Cheyenne East, and Spiegelberg not breaking just 1 tackle, but multiple tackles to get into the open space and then finishing it with his 2nd touchdown tonight.
It's now 20-14 in favor of Casper Kelly Walsh. A lot of time left, 4:25 to go. Placement is down. Kick by Davis is good. It's now 21-14, 4th quarter. Casper Kelly Walsh, their first lead of the night. We're back after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. trail by a TD. It's 21-14. You got some score updates. What do you got?
Number 1 Sheridan 50, Central 0, as well as Natrona 45-0 over Campbell County. Thunder Basin up 55-0 over Cheyenne South. The other game that we thought would be a good one, Rock Springs and Laramie, that's 21-14 right now. Laramie in the fourth quarter. You also got 21-14 here with 4:25 left as Casper Kelly Walsh takes the first lead of the night here at Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex.
Schroeder along with Lukow back deep. Davis to boot it away. End over ender, and it'll end up in the hands of Lukow. Retreats to the 13. Check that, the 7 to the 10, and then he will be either he was collared, horse collared down, or face mask. He's pointing to his face mask. So again, there's a flag on the far side. Lukow will be brought down at the 19-yard line. Now this one may not be an incidental.
Well, and Anderson, who was the one that is the guilty party for the Trojans, threw his hands in the air right away when he saw the flag, wondering what he done.
So again, this was thrown by the referee. And now they're going to mark it off, and it is going to be the big one. 15 yards. So Cheyenne East will operate in fairly decent position at their 33-yard line. It was a 14-yard penalty, considering where it was spotted at. First down and 10. Buell back to pass. Steps up, looking long, got a man wide open. 20, down to the 10, the 5, tackled at the 1-yard line.
Christian Anderton
corner. Anderton got wide open in the secondary, and Buell spotted him around midfield, down to the 1-yard line. It's first and goal.
A
75-yard pass play. Anderton taking about 25 himself.
And for Buell, what a great, I mean, again, that time you saw a quarterback put the ball in the air and let his receiver run under it, hit him in stride and everything.
So East looking for the equalizer right now. Anderton in the backfield. They'll go into the I formation. Buell hands it off to Anderton. Anderton dumped right away and may have lost a yard.
I do like that call, too. Let Anderton, give him a chance to finish it after making the great play on the catch and run. He also dragged the defensive back for a few yards, too. He tried everything he could to get in there.
Zach Alexander also in the backfield. But again, it was the outside containment that time that closed down on Cheyenne East. Second out of goal. Ball resting just outside the 1. Buell. And they got a flag.
False start. It looked like everybody moved but the center. Center didn't know the count, it looked like.
And for Cheyenne East, you'll back it up to the 6-yard line.
That's, again, another penalty for Cheyenne East. That's their 7th penalty. And the penalties have killed them when it comes to their drives, because every time they've had that penalty in a key spot, they haven't been able to recover. Here they'll need to, though, down 7.
So for the T-Birds, a little more breathing room, I guess, to operate the offense at the 7. Hash mark to the far side. Buell will again line up over center with Alexander, Anderton in the backfield. Hand off to Anderton. Anderton takes it in, down close. No indication yet. At the half-yard line.
Looks like he got the 5 yards that they had just lost. And one thing we're seeing, Larry, is how much that the backfield is now missing Riley Cooper, because you know this would be his time right now in the veteran savvy that he has, especially a nose for the end zone. Coach Goff is going to need to rely on some underclassmen here.
2:40 and counting down on the Pepsi scoreboard. Buell over center. Double tight end set, hands it off to Anderton. Anderton hit it immediately, bounces up, touchdown.
What a phenomenal
Anderson
run.
was bunched up at the 1-yard line, bounced off to the left side, takes it in, and East is a point away from tying it up.
Anderton, it was Really, it was Anderton that entire drive, the junior, just 5'9", 160, but he got lower than the defender there, was able to spin out of the tackle on that initial contact that would have been right around the 2-yard line, and able to bust it into the end zone. A big answer there for Cheyenne East.
Buell will hold it. Merritt will kick it. Placement is down. Kick is up and through the uprights. Good. We're tied. 21-21. 2:28 to go. East 21. Casper Kelly Walsh 21. We're back with the kickoff after this 30-second timeout of 1480 KRAE. A lot of time left, 2:28 to be exact. Again, who may have the football last may win this contest. We've got 21s on the board. Nice big play by Anderton on the pass play from Buell. As you said, they stretched out a little bit on the playbook, got that big play. Anderton taking it down, and then finishing off after a couple miscues as the East Thunderbirds and Merritt making that very important extra point.
Well, and how about for East, too, not letting that penalty get back at them either, because the penalty has been stalling their drive. They didn't need a 4th down to get in there as well. Anderton with a great run. Now, the issue is Spiegelberg, with the more touches he's getting, he's starting to build some momentum. East is going to have to find a way to bottle him up. He's got 2 touchdowns here in this quarter. And for Casper Kelly Walsh, you got to think, even with 2:28, they're still going to feed the big man.
And they're also going to have to keep an eye on McAdam as well, too. Merritt to boot it away. High, end over end. It will drive McAdam back to the 1, to the 10, to the 20. And he will be driven out at the 25-yard line. Looked like everything went to slow motion there for a minute. It was like he, again, took that back foot into the blue part of the end zone, but they let him bring it out.
Well, again, I think with the wide hat, he sees him catch it, and then the momentum brings him back into the end zone. Maybe that's why he's allowing him to run it off. But at least McAdam didn't look at the official waiting for a sign.
He just took it and ran with it. So a 25-yard, we'll say 24-yard return as he caught it at the 1. Here come the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. 2:23 remaining. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have 1 timeout remaining. Offset eye behind Hayes. And back to pass goes Hayes. He steps, he throws, got a man, that's Whitley. Whitley on a short gainer to the 28-yard line, pick up a 3. So it'll be 2nd down and 7. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock.
Number 24, Ox Schrader.
Now they'll move it up to the 39-yard line, so they're going to actually give him 29-yard line. They'll give him 4 on the pass reception. 2nd down and 6. Davis will split to the near side. Whitley again out on top of the eye behind Hayes. Hayes hands it off to Spiegelberg. Spiegelberg on the run again, and a flag comes in. It's going to come back. Spiegelberg is going to go all the way. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, and there is some laundry on the field. Holding against Casper Kelly Walsh.
If you're Coach Goff, you're going to take a deep breath because it's coming back. But if you're Coach Goff, you got to yell at your guys to wrap up. Spiegelberg broke again, 2 more tackles, and he's a guy that just, the more carries he gets, the better he's getting. And right now, that would have been his 32nd carry of the game. He had, what we say, 33 last week. He's a guy that loves the volume, and right there, Cheyenne East really dodged a bullet.
And again, this will be marked off from the 34. That's where the flag was thrown. It'll be marked back to the 24. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for Casper Kelly Walsh. So that negates a 72-yard run by Spiegelberg, which would have put him up with numbers of last week.
Right. Yeah, and we knew that he was going to be the feature guy. We knew he was going to be the guy they had to stop. For the most part, East has been able to contain him, but here in this 4th quarter, he's been breaking wild.
I don't know if the Thunderbirds are a little dog tired now because of the run. And the big offensive line getting after them. Hayes, and we got another whistle and a flag, and this one will be against Casper Kelly Walsh on a procedure call with $1:30 to go.
It's Spiegelberg on the sideline right now after that long run. And
the guy's been in a track meet here in the fourth quarter.
This is money time, though. 1.5 left. Last thing you want to do is have your stud on the sideline, especially when you have, I think, all their timeouts, or maybe just 2 timeouts.
I think they got 1 left. They're at the 16-yard line now. Checked at the 19-yard line. Back to pass goes Hayes. He wants it all. Going long. Got a man. And it's intercepted. It's picked off. Schroeder will pick it off at the 42-yard line. And the T-Birds with good field position.
Schroeder picking it off despite the offensive pass interference for Schroeder. That's now his first interception on the season, but you can see he was ready for that deep pass, running with Tyler Whitley the whole way.
Adam stride for stride. And now the coaching staff of the T-Birds calling for the offensive unit to come back out. Plenty of time left, 76 seconds, so Schroeder with the big INT. The ball right now resting at the T-Bird 42-yard line again. Dakota Merritt with a pretty strong leg. I would say if they can get within the 25 to 30-yard range, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I believe we said 42 yards. His first attempt was a little bit short. I'm sure if you're Coach Goff, you'd love to get it into the red zone and give him a chip shot. Or how about just put it in the end zone and really put this game on ice.
Merritt.
1:16 left.
Miller on top. Michaeli to the near side. Out of the gun is Buell. Ball on the 42-yard line. Miller in motion. Back. Give it off to Miller. He's going to throw it. Launches it down long. Almost caught. In and out of the hands of Michaeli at the at the 26-yard line. Incomplete.
Good job by Tyler Whitley, the DB over there on the coverage, staying disciplined. Coach Goff told us he's got about 3 quarterbacks that are playing on the field all at the same time because of how good Buell is. He has to put them in other places, and there you saw one of the benefits of having a guy that can throw the ball.
Miller did not put it in a bad place either. 2nd down and 10. Ball now on the 42-yard line. Still for Cheyenne East. Great field position. Buell. He'll call his own number. Straight ahead. Over the 45-yard line. Down to the 47. Check that to the 46. East will call a timeout with about 63 seconds left. So right now, the Thunderbirds want the timeout. We'll take one as well. 21-21, 1:03 to go here at the Oakland Blanchard Sports Complex. After this 30-second timeout, we're back with more right here on 1480 KRAE. Yards in a cloud of dust is not going to happen for Cheyenne East right now. They're going to have to dig down deep into the playbook again. The Anderton play, yeah, that's one in a game time happening, but they're going to have to start going for the 15, 20-yard chunks. Also, too, they got to get a first down right now.
They do, and they have 1 timeout left with 1:03 left. A big 3rd down and long for East.
Ball right now on the 46-yard line. Out of the gun is Buell. Back to pass. He steps. He throws. Got a man. First down. Curling at the 47-yard line of KW is Michaeli making the grab. 1st and 10. Clock under a minute to go.
Just the first catch for Michaeli and a big one for Cheyenne East.
Trips to the near side for the East T-Birds. Back to pass again goes Buell. Looks off his secondary receiver. Finds Miller wide open. Miller down to the 33-yard line. And quickly a timeout to move the chains.
Allmiller
with
now
48 seconds to go.
with 4 catches. The leading receiver tonight for Cheyenne East.
Buell up quickly. Back to pass. Heavy rush. Steps away from one of the would-be tacklers. On the run to the 25. Out of bounds. Stopping the clock at the 20.
Great job by Buell. He saw there was no containment on the right side, took off, and more importantly, not only did he get the first down, but he got himself out of bounds as well on the, I think, about a 13-yard gain.
They'll say exactly at the 20-yard line, saving the timeout, stopping the clock, and now getting a chance to huddle up and discuss it.
And how about just Buell and the offensive coordinator right there, knowing they have to go with the hurry up, getting them onto the at the line of scrimmage, really not letting a lot of time run off in between the reset of the chains as well, and coming up with big plays. You said they needed those 10, 15-yard plays.
There's also a flag down, too. Look at the flag at the 22-yard line on the far hash mark. So let's see what we got here. So
maybe a late hit?
I don't know. Buell holding. So holding on the defensive side. The T-Birds will probably wipe that play off. And that's it. So Buell had more than enough for the first down. That would have only been 5 in a first down, or 10 in the first down. Buell picking up more than enough. Ball right now at the 20-yard line. Ball on the hash mark to the near side. In the backfield is Anderton along with Buell. Graydon Buell, the sophomore, out of the gun. Calls his own number to the 15. Down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8 with 30-some seconds left. Looks like about 33 left.
Well, now at this point, just run it straight up the middle. This is going to be a chip shot for Dakota Merritt, and you want to give them right into the middle of the field, so just stay there.
The ball resting at the 9. The clock is winding down. Buell again out of the gun. First and goal. He'll call his own number, gets outside to the 5. Did he get it to touchdown? He got inside the pylon. Holy cow! He scores with 20 seconds to go. It's 27-21.
Graydon Buell, that was all Graydon Buell here on this entire drive. Did a good job on a big 3rd down and long on the other side of the 50, and then came up with a great pass on the run to Chance Allmiller, and then we saw 3 straight rushes in a row, 1 for 13, 1 for 11 in the capper, a 9-yard touchdown.
58-yard drive capped off by the sophomore Graydon Buell, 9-yard run for the score. Merritt's PAT out of Buell's hole, good. East 28, Casper Kelly Walsh 21. We will be back with the final 20 seconds after this 30-second timeout on 1480 KRAE. Our game, we will have our post-game show, which will feature head coach Chad Goff. Usually he likes to trot up a couple of players. I'm going to go on a limb and say maybe Graydon Buell might be one of those players that comes up.
No kidding.
We want to remind you, next Friday night, Nick Proetti joins me live in the Oil City. So our friends there in Trumbull County, we will be at Harry Gelding Stadium, as we will have the same Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans going up against the Cheyenne South Fighting Bison, who are being beaten up again this weekend. This time it's by the Thunder Basin Bolts. Here, 28-21. Who's going to be 2-0? Who's going to be 1-1? Right now, it's in favor of Cheyenne East. This has been a whale of a 4th quarter. Unbelievable. Big plays.
Big plays, and we said whoever would really have the big plays, whoever had the most big plays,
or
would
had the
probably
ball
win
last.
the game. Or the ball last. Now, with 20 seconds, Kelly Walsh will have the ball last. If they tie this game up, be insane.
Merritt keeps it down low, still loose on the floor, and it'll be picked up by Davis. Davis will fall on it at the 33-yard line.
First down, Trojans.
So on the turf there, KW had a hard time surrounding the football, and then finally Davis got back to it and fell on it. So the ball right now on the 33-yard line. We've seen Hayes throw the football. He's got a cannon. So again, this one is not over until there's 3 zeros on the clock.
He's got some length on the outside as well. They have 2 timeouts.
McAdam, Whitley to the near side. Davis out on top along with Wilson. Back to pass out of the gun goes Hayes. He steps. He does. Packed off by Allmiller. Allmiller to the 35, to the 30, down the sideline, 25, 20-yard line. He's driven out with 5 seconds to go. Stepping in front of the pass. Oh, what a play.
Well, we said at the beginning, you wanted Hayes to be the one that beat you. They put Hayes in a situation where he had to be the one that beat you. That's 3 interceptions, 2 for Chance Allmiller on the offensive side. Coach Goff said they put an emphasis on getting the turnovers, and tonight they're going to win the turnover battle 3-1.
Well, my favorite play right now at this time, fall on ball on 1. So
the good old victory formation.
You go to that victory formation, and this was a hard-fought victory by the East T-Birds tonight. Ball right now, hash mark on the left side at the 21-yard line. Coming into the huddle late is Zach Alexander. 5 ticks left. East leads 28-21. Buell over center. He'll take a knee. The clock winds down. 2-1. Cheyenne East moves to 2-0 in the season. And they were in a dogfight tonight with the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Our final score, East 28, Casper Kelly Walsh 21. Thunderbirds 2-0. The Trojans fall to 1-1. We'll be back with our post-game show after we take a 2-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. First off, let me say thank you to the job you did tonight, a fantastic job. To our friends in Natrona County, again, who are not getting the radio coverage, but again, hopefully you were on the stream. I know it's a tough loss for your Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Very impressed with this ball club. You know, a couple of mistakes, Chris, and this game goes the other way. Right. And again, the big was the Anderton reception by Buell, as Buell hit him right on the dime, and he ran it the length of the football field as he took it down to the 1 yard line, and then after a couple of miscues by East, they finally put it in the end zone to get the equalizer. Then the pickoff at the 42-yard line by Schroeder, and what a surgically maneuvered drive by the East Thunderbirds to take it in for the touchdown.
Really headlined by Graydon Buell, not only with his arm, but with his legs.
And remember I said he stopped calling himself here in the second half. So the East Thunderbirds pick up a hard-fought victory. Again, Casper Walsh, to me, and I said this in our pregame show with Coach Vance, said this as we were getting ready to play football, this team has arrived. And one thing that they didn't do tonight was put the ball down on the turf. Yes, Hayes got picked off a couple of times, but other than that, he, again, he was the field general there. And again, Brock Spiegelberg had another great ball game. He's got well over 450 yards for the first part of the season. I think he probably got close to 200 tonight, right?
227.
So on the season, he's at 502 right now. 251 yards a game. Wow. What a phenomenal athlete. So with both teams right now taking a knee, East with Chad Goff, who will be joining us on our postgame show. He is talking to his squad over on the 25-yard line, and Coach Vance huddling with his group over in the east end zone on the east side. We are going to add up some more numbers here while we got a chance, and I, again, can't thank these folks enough. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to bring you these games. We want to thank Terrell Honda, Baskin-Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Gill Window Company, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, First Tier Bank, and Big Apple Bagels. Once again, our final score, East 28, Casper Walsh 21. Also, we want to thank Pepsi of Cheyenne with our Pepsi scoreboard, Medicap Pharmacy, Key of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, B&B Appliance and TV, Camp Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, and MHP McGee Herndon Pies. We're back after this 2-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Blanchard Sports Complex, Cheyenne East picking up the win against the Casper Walsh Trojans. We have a couple of these star players here tonight that we get a chance to chat with. Matter of fact, we'll put the headset on first here. Graydon Buell, who is the sophomore quarterback who engineered that nice drive for the T-Birds. I know Coach Goff will usually get you on first, but we'll talk with the young men first. And again, take us through that last drive. You got the ball on your own 42-yard line. Thank you to Ox Schroeder for the INT, and you guys really didn't panic in there. And again, you're a bunch of young guys, and I mean, congratulations on a job well done.
Yeah, it was good. We practice that every day, 2-minute drive. Every time when we practice that, and we knew exactly what we were going to do as soon as we got on that field. And then it was just execution from there.
I had mentioned to my partner Chris here that you pretty much had not been calling your number in the second half, and all of a sudden you saw some openings there on that last drive where you decided to tuck it away and run. Is that those design plays?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Just you gotta play football. Once plays is gone and done with, you gotta play football. Can't coach up from after the play's busted.
In that second quarter, Riley goes down. I mean, for you as a quarterback, it's just next man up. You have so many weapons. How nice is it for you, or how easy does it make your job when you have someone like this guy, Chance Onmiller? You have Christian, Anderton, who comes in that fourth quarter, has a massive fourth quarter, especially on that game-tying drive.
Yeah, it was having my back is big. On the sideline, they're always telling me, we got this, keep going. They have my back. The O-line has my back. Everyone, we're a brotherhood, and it's great when they come on the sideline and we're like, we got this. We know what we're doing.
2-0, and again, with Casper Kelly Walsh, and I've seen Coach John Vance for years and years, and this is one of his better teams out there. Again, with Spiegelberg and Matt Hayes, and they got a good defensive unit. It's a pretty good outfit that you went up against tonight.
Oh yeah, that's a great team. It was very fortunate we came out with a win, and on to next week. That is a fantastic team. All the credit to them. They battled and battled and battled, and now on to next week.
All right, we're going to take the headset off you here real quick. We're going to move it on over to Chance Onmiller for Cheyenne East. And first off, congratulations on a big win. Love the pickoff at the end there. That was kind of cool. Read the quarterback's eyes. I'm assuming that was like you had dollar signs there when you saw that football coming.
Yeah, it's just more like just reading him. Like if you just back up, we were just playing deep, and I just saw him come inside, and just read the quarterback's eyes. Once I saw him look, I just made the break and just go for it. But I gotta thank the defensive line. They got to him and rushed him to make that throw, and I ended up getting there to make that catch and just basically ending in the game right there.
How about ending both halves with an interception as well? That you could see Casper Kelly Walsh had a chance to tie it at the end, and for you to kind of jump the lane to cut off McAdam. Catch that, you see nothing but green in front of you. Do you think you're going 99 yards for a touchdown? As far as that play goes, just walk us through that play.
I just saw him run like a wheel route trying to make a pick play on me, just trying to get me out of there to get him open. And once I basically saw that and I turned back, the ball was just right there, and I just made a great play on it. And again, the defensive line just got to him and rushed him to make that throw. So I got to thank them again. And once I saw the green grass, I wasn't expecting to go all the way. I'm not too fast, but I was trying to make a play and get going there. And it just helps with like momentum coming down in the next half and just getting everybody going. And if we start off slow, we just got to step up on defense and make those plays.
Spiegelberg ended up the night with 227 yards rushing. Most of that came in the fourth quarter. This was a wild fourth quarter, but you guys in the first half kind of held him in check a little bit. But I'm telling you, you're a big cat. I mean, this guy coming at you, he's a power runner, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a great back. He definitely ran for basically 300 yards these past two games. And he just gets going. It's all his O-line too, and once he gets going, it's just hard to stop. And we just got to battle like fatigue and all that in the fourth quarter and just hurting and all that. And once we do that, it's just all about battling. We just got to get going, and we got to just stop him. And we held him good in the first half, but once he gets going, it's hard to stop.
2-0 to start off the season. I know you only short-live it here real quick, and then you go back to work on Monday, but tell us a little bit how it feels.
Feels great. It's just a great win for the team, and just thanks to everybody coming out to support us and everything.
All righty.
It's just a great
game. Chance Onmiller joining us here on our post-game show. We're going to take the headsets off of him, and now we're going to call in East High head coach Chad Goff, who improves to 2-0. Coach, we had a long discussion on the sidelines before you and I talked on our pregame show, and this game tonight lived up to the billing. This was the game of the week. You knew that John Vance had a good ball club. One thing that they didn't do that they have a tendency to do is put the ball on the floor. They didn't do it. They played pretty flawless up until the interceptions.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a tough back, you know, and they got big old linemen, and I think it kind of started to wear on us. You just saw those holes starting to get bigger and bigger. When you're getting pushed on by big cats like that all game, it starts to wear on you. And that running back, he's as tough as they come. I mean, to take that many handoffs a night and still be able to build that fast at the end of the game, that's pretty amazing. You know, he's a pretty special athlete.
Coach Graydon Beal, just a sophomore, first year with the program. Just his overall calmness and leadership, especially in that last drive, where really that last drive had a lot to do with not just his arm but his legs. How excited are you to see just his development as you keep going, especially in these close games?
Really excited. You know, he's learning and that last play that he ran in for a touchdown, he just told me, I don't even think we called anything. He'd called a certain play. He didn't see the linemen do what they were supposed to do, and he made a great play. You know, that wasn't designed by any means. But like I told him, I said, as long as it works, it's a great play. If it doesn't work, you get yelled at. It's one or the other, you know. And but after, that's their job. That's what we tell them all week. You know, the lineman's job is to give them a chance to be successful, and the guys that get to touch the ball, they get paid to do things with it, and he did a great job with that.
Coach, what did your team show you in the fourth quarter? I mean, again, you know, you practice this stuff. We talked to Graydon, and he says, you know, we go in with a lot of confidence, but what did your team show you getting down, getting the equalizer, getting a key interception, going ahead, and then just, you know, shutting the door?
You know, we just got done talking about all that, and it just showed you that we got fight in us, and that to have that type of game in week 2 and be able to survive the ups and the downs and be able to get that experience this early and be able to pull off a win at the end of the game there, that's huge for down the road, you know, and just having that experience of having to run your 2-minute O and having to be successful and having your defense have to step up and make a play, and that was just that experience alone, those repetitions, you can't simulate that in practice. And so to get that out here tonight and to come out with a victory against a very good ball club, that's huge for us.
Riley Cooper goes down.
Yep.
And again, maybe you can help us out on what's that situation, but Eifert came in, did a great job for you. Anderton, I mean, you know, I don't know how many game balls you hand out after each game, but a couple of young men right there that really deserve a game ball as well, too.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, last week Riley and Jaden split time a little bit, and we kind of knew that going into the season, that they're kind of a complement to each other. You know, Jaden is not that very big of a kid, and he kind of gets lost. You know, he's the size of most offensive linemen's legs, and so he kind of gets lost in there, and he's really good in the middle of the field. And Riley has really good vision, and Christian's a really good athlete. Christian can he can be a slot receiver for us. He can be our running back. As you can see, he can catch the ball pretty good right there. He's just a natural athlete, and so he can do a lot of things as well. And so he hadn't been getting a ton of reps there because those two have been taking it, but he stepped up tonight without a ton of reps and did a great job for us.
And what's the update on Riley?
You know, he sprained his ankle. He was able to walk around, but you can tell he's pretty ginger on it. So we'll see how it feels tomorrow at film, and he'll probably have a light week of practice there.
Coach, you guys in the offseason put an emphasis on getting turnovers, taking the ball away. Again, tonight you're +2 in the turnover ratio again, and a lot of it had to do with just great timing. Oxschroeder running with the receiver down the field, and then great timing plays with Amila reading the quarterback. How important is it to, not only to your success, to get those turnovers, but in key moments at the end of the first half, at the end of the game like Chance did?
You know, it's players making plays, and that's what we told them after the game was truly exciting. You know, we came into this season going, who's our guy? Who's our guys going to be? Because we don't know. And we're starting to find some of those answers. Kids are stepping up and making plays, and that's exciting to us. More than one kid stepping up and making plays, that's exciting to us. And the great thing about it is we're pretty young ball club when it comes to experience. And so that's really exciting to us. You know, just the experience alone that these kids are getting with their youth, not in age, but in their experience, is hopefully going to pay some huge dividends to us here later on.
Coach, I hate to be the downer. I know you enjoy the win tonight, but we got to go back to work, and we got another tough. Everyone every week is a tough one.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's good. That's good because if you want to make a run late,
you gotta have the competition all year. Competition builds success. You got to be successful in that competition, and you got to keep going. And I think our kids are starting to learn that and understand that. We try to simulate competition in practice as much as we can, and they're understanding the importance of showing up, battling, and just finishing.
What do you know about next week's opponent? Again, I'm asking a guy that's been doing this for 13 years.
Yeah.
Probably know everything about him, right?
Yeah, I know they can throw the ball. I mean, he can throw that quarterback's a good quarterback. He can throw the ball. They have a lot of experience coming back, being a first-year high school last year. They had a lot of seniors, but they hadn't played together in a long, they hadn't been under that system and all that, so that's all new to them last year, and they were still okay last year, I thought, with all that experience and the tradition in Gillette, whatever high school you have it, they're all from the same one still at this point, until a couple more years. They know each other now, and they had a lot of experience. Our JV ball club went 8-1 last year. Our only loss was to these gentlemen that we face next week, and so a lot of their kids that played varsity were juniors last year, and so they're all back as well, combining with those kids that played in that JV game. So it should be a good ball game.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Way to make it exciting tonight. That. I always like that heart pumping, especially at my age.
Yeah.
28-21, our final score as the East High Thunderbirds get the job done here tonight at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex as they defeat Casper Kelly Walsh. Take a quick 60-second timeout. Chris is going to have some final stats for us, and then we're going to wrap things up here from the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. Once again, the final score, East 28, Casper Kelly Walsh 21. We're back after these words.
To Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex, where Cheyenne East pulls off the win 28-21, scoring 14 unanswered points to finish the game. As for East, Graydon Buell led the way for them. He ended up with 10 of 16 passing for 181 yards, also chipped in with 80 yards on the ground with that big touchdown to take the lead and put the game on ice. So 261 total yards for the sophomore QB. For Jordan Eifert, who really had the bulk of the carries, 10 carries, 55 yards, he had a touchdown. Riley Cooper only played in the first half, as you heard from Coach Goff, went down with the sprained ankle, 8 carries, 39 yards, he had a touchdown. And it was Christian Anderton, 6 carries, 19 yards for a touchdown. He had that big catch to help tie the game, for the drive to tie the game, 1 catch, 75 yards for him. It was Dakota Merritt who had a catch in 12 yards. He also added 2 carries for 21 yards, as well as a catch for Robert Lookow. He had a catch in 22 yards. Allmiller, 4 catches, 48 yards. He also had 2 interceptions in this one. Michael I had 1 catch for 8 yards. For Casper Kelly Walsh, Hayes ends up 10 of 21 for 161 yards, a touchdown and 3 interceptions, 2 in the fourth quarter. 31 carries for Spiegelberg, 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also added a catch for 2 yards as well. On the receiving end, it was also on the ground. Spencer Wilson, 4 carries, 26 yards. Leading the way for Casper Kelly Walsh on the receiving end, 4 catches for Damian McAdam for 59 yards. Tyler Whitley also had 4 catches for 41 yards. And then Sage Coventry, a 1-catch, 56-yard. It was a touchdown that he scored in the second quarter way back when. And that's your stats for tonight's game, where, Larry, you heard Coach say it's not going to get any easier, as now they'll have to go up against a very good Thunder Basin team who showed last week was no
And Thunder Basin has made 2 trips down here. Guess what? With East, they got to go back to Gillette. So again, you know, the schedule maker's not too excited on East and Thunder Basin, but that's okay. You know, they've already been up to Campbell County. They know what to expect. It's always a hostile crowd when you go up to Gillette, and again, hostile crowd meaning that, you know, they expect to win every time they play. Well, Thunder Basin, we saw last week, they've got a good outfit. They proved it tonight again at Cheyenne South. I don't know, though, if this is one thing that Coach Pakula wanted, these 2 blowouts, because, again, you call off the dogs, and you don't get all the repetitions. You look here tonight, Cheyenne East had that opportunity for 4 quarters to get all the repetitions in with their regulars, and, again, that's what they needed. They needed that game-time experience last week, you know, like he said, too. We could have put up 100, but we didn't. And again, you start looking at some of the younger underclassmen to play football. So I think the advantage might be to East that they had 4 solid good quarters here against Casper Kelly Walsh.
Definitely a great matchup from a quarterback standpoint. Maybe 2 of the better quarterbacks we'll see in 4A.
Should be a lot of fun next week.
Right, and then as far as 1480 KRAE goes, obviously we've seen the same Casper Kelly Walsh team get another chance to take a look at big number 8 Brock Spiegelberg, which was as good as advertised.
And again, for the East High Thunder, for the South High Fighting Bison, Coach Gallus is going to have to find a way to stop him. And I mean, they may need 11 guys next weekend to stop this cat. 502 yards to kick off the first 2 games of the season. That is some serious running by a very good senior running back. So let's wrap things up. Nick Proetti will join me next Friday evening. We will be at Harry Geldine Stadium, as it will be Cheyenne South. We'll get our first look at the Fighting Bison going up against the same Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Again, thank you along the line. First, back at the house, we want to thank Jacob Hamill for a great job that he did pushing all the buttons and making sure that everything went right tonight. So thank you very much to Jacob. To my partner to the left of me, we thank Chris for another great job, as again, couldn't do this without you. And of course, to the extreme left, we thank Nick as well for doing a bang-up job and bringing the production to everybody across the world. So with that all being said, we wrap things up here from the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Once again, we take a look at the final score. Cheyenne East improving to 2-0. They win 28-21 over 1-1 Casper Kelly Walsh. So for all of us up here, Chris Bolton, Nick Proetti, Larry Proetti, we say good night. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Go Pokes tomorrow. And we now return to regular programming on 1480.